Thank you. Don't.
I love that intro. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara, and I am Sharif. And we're going to wait for everyone to roll on over, make their way from the other chat. We already have, Bears versus Bulls. That's all we got. We got Pitchbull. I'm lying. We got Adara. We got Monty. Buenos dias to you as well. Mahash Mahat. One day you got to tell me how to say pronounce it properly, Mahat, because Mahesh Mahat. I just had Ram tell me in my ear, and now I go with that. Matthew Booth, hold my beer. Atif Tibet, I know how to pronounce that. I bet you he's Egyptian. Starving Like 2, Lino Martinez, Big Boy. We got Ed George. We got Brandon Townsend, as well as Enrag Ronaldo. You play today, don't you? I think, aren't you supposed to be at the game? We got Dottie Zimbabwe. Yeah, we got the Piper, 2 New York Cents, as well as Sebastian and Donkey Trader. I had something lined up for that, but I won't do it. We got the Sankofa. Oh, we got a new square called Sankofa Square, do we not?
Do we?
Remember Dundas Square?
Oh,
they
I didn't know they were renaming that.
Let's go, Adara. We got Amili, we got Wadad Shamoun, and Muhammad Al Saab. I should have said that better. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this fine morning? How was your pre-weekend? Your pre-weekend?
Oh, it was good. That's what you said to me this morning. I had no idea what you were saying. I was still half asleep.
Yeah, I know. Decent. I was putting this morning, and she was like, I can't right now, and then walked away because the coffee had not come in yet. No, I knew it wasn't. Yeah, I'm just joking. Yeah, but yeah, I knew you were. I was also tired, so I feel like.
I got a case of sunstroke yesterday from beaching too much, so I was like, I was way too tired. But these markets for sure are not tired today. What a move up for the Mag 7 today. Let's take a quick look at what is making moves, and then I'll show you that small cap gapper that Neil alluded to right before the end of their show. So Meta looking like an absolute monster. It has not touched the 10 exponential yet on the day. Up and to the right it goes. No touches on that 10 exponential, showing you how strong it really is. Every other one has had some sort of retracement, and one of the moving averages that I follow. You got Goggles that right now just broke the 10 period, looking to weasel its way down to the 20 period. Likewise with the soft one, breaking the 10 and the 20 on the way down to VWAP, it looks like. And then there's been a love affair here between Amazon and the 20 exponential, and it's doing the dance right now at that 20 exponential. I had a quick trade here off VWAP on Apple. I'll let you guys know about that one in a hot second, but it does seem to be finding some resistance at that $0.50. 224.5 topping tail candles, 2 double tops right there right now, but let's not put too much stock into that. We'll keep watching to see what it does. The same way that Amazon has had a love affair with the 20 exponential, I would submit to you that Tesla loves the 50. Look at how many rejections we've gotten on the 5-minute time frame here on the 50 exponential with TSLA. You have had wicks that have breached that level. So if you put tight stops, you probably got bamboozled. The other side of that coin is, while it keeps rejecting off the 50 exponential on the 5, these successively higher lows may be hinting at something, maybe foreshadowing what we would call a flat top break, which we don't have an animation for, which I did reach for there, but it was a flat bottom break, alas. This area top over here at 249 to 249.5 makes sense given this area trough in the pre at around 7 a.m. We did find support there before moving up and breaking 250. On our way to that pre-market high of 253 1/3, and now we're having trouble with that exact same area that we bounced off in the pre-market. So right now, support becoming resistance, at least for the moment here on TSLA. Is there anything that you've got your eye on that you want to share before we start the lesson?
Also Tesla, I want to take that 248 bounce, was not able to be aggressive enough. Also, may I say, we had both Neil and Obi saying that Tesla was aggressive a lot. Aggressive is right there. That's all I'm saying. Also, Tesla pressing. No one said Presla, you know. No, shout out to Obi and Neil killing it on that desk. I am just being, salty with my puns. That's not the point. The point is, I like Tesla here. We cannot get above that 248.60 though in the book. So if that's the case, I'll short it to 248s. We also have higher lows though, so I'm trying to be cognizant of that. I'm willing to go either direction with TSLA. You know what I mean? Like I will scalp this thing, the high heavens. I'm going to try to take more size as well because I've noticed sometimes that holds me back because I don't have enough size for the type of scalping I like to do with small risk. I already did have a trade in Chipotle. I did get a little bit, chopped up in Chipotle with that, slice and diced guacamole there a little bit. I only risked 5 pennies. I knew that this was going to be a bit of a dicey,
Oh.
Like onions? Diced? Okay.
She pushed back
That was
chair.
an accident. It was going to be a bit of a dicier trade just with how little I was risking, but I basically saw the 90 MA bounce. I did want that smoke. We got below 85s. I got involved at 90s. I had to get out. It's all good. Next time I would definitely risk a little bit more given the spread, but, right now that this guacamole spread sent me out of CMG, but I'm going to be keeping my eye on it. Cost, I see you too, girl. How are you doing?
All right, I'm just going to cover the trade that I had on Apple super quick. They're going to start the lesson du jour. So this one was the one Neil kept yelling about all morning, the VWAP retracement on the dead one Apple, and it jived with another level that I was looking at. So I got in at 88, 223.88, but there was this area trough over here, this big red candle. Once we breached that 224 mid-90s, we huadunked. We, for whatever reason, dropped $1 there, but we ended up holding that general 224 level. So I said to myself, look, you've got that 224 area trough. You've got the VWAP in and around that area. Put a resting order for VWAP and come what may, and that's exactly what happened. We were able to wet our beak on a nice 40 penny winner. Alas, it continued to move up. So is it really a good trade? Is it? Is it? If you didn't really catch as much as you should have. So I'll keep my eye on AAPL. Very strong on the day. I did not expect this, but yeah, it looks like some people are front running that super cycle if it comes. So we'll keep tabs on that. All right, guys, let's get to the lesson du jour. Welcome, traders. Today's lesson explores combining moving average, convergence, divergence, MACD for short, these MACD signals with support and resistance levels for more confident trading decisions. So let's get right to it. So what MACD on its own, we already know that MACD crossovers and divergences, both the crossovers and the divergences, we talked about both of them this week. If you didn't watch, go back and have a quick look at said lesson. Both these crossovers and divergences can be helpful for identifying potential entries and exit points. But sometimes the signals can be a bit fuzzy. There can be some fugays with that kind of stuff. So enter support and resistance. Well, just as we always do, what is support and resistance for those newer traders? Support and resistance are key concepts in technical analysis. Support represents these price levels where buying pressure tends to be strong, potentially halting or reversing a downtrend. So once the price comes into that level, 165 on Apple, go ahead and have a look at that daily chart on Apple. Every time it dips into there seems to be a buyer. Conversely, resistance represents price levels where selling pressure tends to be strong, potentially halting or reversing an uptrend. Up until $200 was broken on AAPL, go back and have a look at that chart. It kept moving into 200, rejecting, and it ranged between 165 to 200. But then, all good things come to an end, even these support and resistance levels. Here it is depicted on the chart, Adara. Umpteen amount of times we came into that 51.25 on whatever stock this is. It doesn't really matter. And it found support at that area. What does that tell you? That means somebody with big boy money likes this price, or there is people with big boy money who like that price, who chime in, who are in it at that price every time it does come back into that level. And you shouldn't want to fight with those people because you are a market observer. You are not a market influencer unless you got big boy money. I don't. I'm just speaking for myself. This is technical resistance over here. Same thing. It comes into that 38 and 90 level, 38 3/4. And every time it does come into that level, it acts as a technical area of resistance. So the power of combining support and resistance and MACD. So imagine the MACD is indicating a bullish crossover, and that's when the MACD line crosses above the signal line. We talked about that on Tuesday. And it's suggesting to you a potential price increase. But what if the price is hovering right at a resistance level? So you get the crossover on MACD, great, check. But then you're weaseling in to a long-term resistance level. Let's say 200 on Apple, right? The selling pressure at that level could absolutely dampen the upside move, and you need to be cognizant of that. So using MACD with support and resistance, here's how to do it. Here's how to combine MACD with support and resistance for stronger signals. For your bullish confirmation, which is when the MACD crosses over, so a bullish cross near a support and resistance level, let's just say 200 on Apple again, it strengthens the potential for a price bounce, right? Or 165 on Apple, excuse me. The support level adds some confidence that the price may increase and have more momentum. And I'll show you what I mean by that on the chart in a second. But there's also bearish confirmation, and that happens when the MACD crossover happens at near a resistance level. That strengthens the potential for a price decline, despite the fact that you got a crossover. The resistance level adds some confidence that that downtrend may continue. So here's what we're talking about right over here. So we come down, we're in a downward channel, no question about that. You can see lower highs, lower lows. We keep rejecting off, we keep making, lower successive crests and lower successive troughs. And then lo and behold, you get this MACD crossover. And what ends up happening, you bounce off that support level. So you had 2 check marks there beside your name. You came into that support level that had held in the past. In addition to that, you got a MACD bullish crossover when the MACD line crosses above the signal line from south to north, from down to top, okay? This is the exact opposite of that. This is bearish confirmation. Look at this. You get into that 84.25 level on whatever stock this is. You already have a double top there. Then, lo and behold, you get the bearish crossover where the MACD line crosses below the signal line from north to south. Lo and behold, you get that rejection yet again at that 84-ish level. So what are you doing here? Like, to be able to spot these MACD support and resistance indicators. So you're going to imagine a stock nearing a support level and the MACD does a bullish crossover or a bearish crossover, depending on which way you're going. This combination suggests a possible buying or selling opportunity, depending on whether you're going long or short, with the support level or resistance level acting as the launch pad for that price increase or decrease. So what I like about these is that you have a general area to know. If the price breaks above this level, if the price breaks below this level, I'm wrong, and I'll just get out. So you have the MACD sign, but you also have the support and resistance line to kind of help guide you to know, well, I'm right if it holds above this, I'm wrong if it breaks below that. To me, that makes things a little bit easier, and that's kind of what I look for, okay? But remember, guys, support and resistance, MACD, it's not risk-free. Oh, I don't, right? False signals absolutely do and will occur, even with support and resistance. There's no guarantee the price will respect the signal. Always practice good risk management, and fake outs are a part of the game. That's just the way this works. Sometimes the price might briefly break through that support or break through that resistance before reversing and flipping the switch on you. Be cautious of chasing these breakouts and be on the basics, guys. There's a couple of things here that we didn't cover because of time constraints, but the strength of the levels also a very important factor to consider here. The stronger the support and resistance level based on historical price action, they can provide more confidence in the combined signal. So here's what I mean by that. I don't know if you guys remember, but when Adair was first started trading, I would always tell her the more times a support level gets touched, the more times resistance level gets rejected off, the more valid, the more real it becomes. So the longer it's been hanging out, the more, and it finally breaks, the more valid that break is. So keep that in mind. So the strength of the levels, important as well, but multiple time frame analysis here is absolutely important as well. You got to analyze the MACD and the support and resistance on multiple time frames. If you're looking on the 5, if you're looking at the 15, what's the hour telling you? What's the 4 hour telling you? Is it converging or is it diverging from your analysis? You need to make sure that your analysis jives on multiple time frames. Otherwise, other traders who may not use your time frame may not be seeing what you're seeing, and they're not going to participate in it if they don't see it. So the final word here is combining MACD with support and resistance adds another layer of confirmation to your trading decisions. By understanding how these tools work together, you can improve your ability to identify those potential entry and exit points we all want with greater confidence, or confidence, as Adair likes to say. Remember, practice with a paper trading account before ever using real money on the line, because why not? It's there. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Sharif. Also, the whole confidence reminded me of the buttons we have, which reminds you guys need to vote. Vote for the tickers you fancy,
yes.
whatever tickers your fancy. Get involved there. I need to get my stream deck up. Get involved and do what you must to make sure, as Sharif says, campaign, you know, organize. Make sure that whatever ticker you're interested in is getting involved there. NVIDIA, I am no longer interested in you. You need to get your life together there. NVDA. Basically what happened here with this NVIDIA. Also, yeah, make sure you guys vote though. In the chat right now, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker you're interested in. Maybe it's Apple, maybe it's AMD, maybe it's Meta. I don't know. Get involved there. NVIDIA, I want to talk about this.
Got it.
I wanted to short this with the 90 EMA rejection. I liked what I saw in the book. Then I got out. I was going to risk into 126.90s. We kept rejecting that perfectly. I was like, cool, 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 cool. But then I got out because I was seeing higher lows in the book, had to leave. Then I was like, Adara, as long as you stay above that level that you know we couldn't get below when you were short, take it as a long. That also did not work out. I am down on NVDA, but you know what I'm not down on? Positivity.
Bang.
And looking for new opportunities. I've been hiding the P&L, which has done wonders for my life choices, I have to say.
So good.
Because you're just like, you're not trading off P&L if you can't see it, right? You're trading on ideas you like. NVDA, to be fair, still making higher lows. I was gunning for 126.40 in my short, and we did not get anywhere near it. So I'm really interested here. I'm still actually kind of interested in NVIDIA long, so we're going to try to get back in here. I'm going to risk into 40s. That makes more sense. We're going to try to get involved at 54s. And NVIDIA's like, oh, cool, Adara. I do not care. I will continue to push higher. So that's fair, NVIDIA. I understand. But what else? Tesla here, just doing a little bit of a snake to the upside. Oh, Tesla.
She pushed back her chair.
Off 90 EMA. Oh, and we're bouncing at that 248.60 area, which, if you may recall, was an area I liked as resistance on the book. So resistance to support flips. Don't mind if I do, Tesla. I will not be getting involved in you unless I'm watching you fastidiously, which right now I have my eyes on your Meg 7 cousin NVDA, but hey, Tesla, you're a much better look for me. I'd be considering getting long here at 249.25s, risking into 248.60s with the potential to add, and you know what? I'm canceling my NVIDIA order because I actually like this better. So NVIDIA, I have my eyes on you still, mind you, but I'm never gonna get my fill where I want it. Tesla, I'm not gonna say you're Besla, but I think my reads on you are a little bit better maybe than what I've seen with your cousin, NVDA. I don't know why they're cousins, but they're both in the Meg 7. Also, AMD breaking below the 9 EMA. That is not a bad scalp short for me either. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I just want to let anybody know who's counting. We've already had 2 chair pushbacks so far today. No, but seriously, guys, Meta just printed all-time highs, 533.57. We've never been this high on Meta. It was at 531, 530-ish line in the sand before the earnings report that we huadunked off and dropped to 400 ever so briefly. We are right back where we left off pre-earnings. 533.57 HOD. We're doing the fight right now to stay above that whole dollar at double threes. So we'll see there. Another one that just printed all-time high. Goggles, $190.10. Would it be petty if I messaged Brendo right now while he was on vacation, told him, I told you not to sell?
It's not petty. It's not
yes,
petty.
Everybody answered to the right over here. Adara was trying to be politically correct and I guess nice to
I think
my
politically
feelings.
correct.
These ones, these guys over here, they know no such thing. They're like, yes, it would be petty. All right, but yeah, no, seriously, well, I tell him that every day, Ram. I promise you I tell him that every day. Ram's like, I'm going to tell Brendo that Sharif said don't sell. I tell him every day. 190.10 Ram, HOD on GOOGL. What a retrace, what a move up here. There was a brief break of that 10 exponential. It did actually front run the 20 exponential, so I wouldn't have had a read on this one. I wouldn't have had it either way. I would have been trying to get in on the 10 or the 20, and neither one came in. So fantastic day for Goggles as it continues to pamp into all-time highs. I don't know if we got into all-time highs on the soft one today. 467.07. Let's do a quick daily check over here. It is all-time highs on the soft one. I missed you, Microsoft. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave you out of the all-time high, gang.
I think it'll forgive you.
Yeah, it's okay, right? MSFT Adara, 467.07, all-time high. Obviously, it goes out saying Apple printed all-time highs as well. So that is 4 all-time highs on the Mag 7. We didn't quite print all-time highs on AMZN. We had been a little bit above where we were today, $200.55. High a day on the Zon. NVIDIA not participating, and that's okay because NVIDIA is up a 1.5% year to date, so it can take a breather on the day, but What I'm looking for here is weakness continued. It seems as if the outlying retracements, these crests are all coming into the 50-period exponential on the 5. So I'm going to be looking for that 127 and a quarter to 127 and a third for a possible short here on NVDA.
Yeah. Okay. So Tesla. That's not really transition. I'm in Tesla. I like where I got involved. Then I was kind of like, maybe where I got involved was a bit of resistance on the tape, because I get there, and we keep getting there, and then we keep dropping lower. We were bouncing off 249, so I was like, dare I stay in this? And like I said, my plan was really to leave at 248 if we break below 248.60s. We have not done that. We've gotten to 72s and bounced beautifully. Now, maybe a trader that is not myself would have added, arguably I should have added, but I still see resistance at 249. Until we can clear that 249 nicely, what's the point in adding? That's just too, all I'd be adding is Stressla to my position, and it wouldn't make sense. So, because I said to myself, I said, Derek, you can add, but you're only adding after you've gotten some out. I'm not getting some out here. So I know I am risking a little bit more than I normally risk, but A, it's Tesla, and B, I want to make more. I'm trying to make like 75 pennies with that first out. So if I'm like trying to make 75 pennies, I have no qualms. I am qualmless about risking like 65 pennies. You know what I mean? Like I said, my risk to reward ratios are less like perfectly mathed out and more as long as, I need to work on the risk reward ratios. But the point remains, Tesla, if you want to keep reject-ing this 249, things might get dicey for me. Like I said, I always have my levels at which I'll leave, but if I see stuff on the book that I distrust before that point, I have no qualms, again, about leaving early. I need to stop saying qualms, but it's a really fun word. So yeah, right now, all I'm doing is staring at Tesla like it stole my lunch money, which it didn't as far as I know, but maybe it will. We'll see, because we are trading at lunch. All weird Tesla jokes aside, cost as well is also on my radar here. We have lower highs, but man, what we're doing here, I was talking to Sharif pre-market, I love that $14 level as a base. If we come back to 14 and we reject like we did earlier, someone's gonna take this short, no matter what it costs. Also, yeah, Tesla here breaking way below, so we're gonna have to pop here out of the Cybertruck. Risk management, this definitely could have been better. I guess it cost me to look at cost while I was in Tesla. So there we go. I definitely, like I said, need to work on my stops. That is not the vibe of anyone's life right now. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. Got out of Tesla where I wanted to, and now it decides to bounce. I feel like I have this tendency of risking into stocks where the actual entry levels should be. I might get back in if we keep holding 70s. How are you doing? I'm good. I want to talk about these small cap gappers. I know you mentioned costs. I won't go over that. It's doing the dance right now at 13. I've got nothing to add to that. BENF. This is the one that Neil mentioned before the morning show ended. It was halted at the time. He mentioned it. It's up a sweet 115% volume, 7.14 million share market cap is a hottie, nice $19.5 million, and the float is 1.7 million shares. Let's bring in trade ideas and look at the short float, if any. 2.47, so about 2.5% of the 1.7 million shares is shorted, so nothing really to write home about. I don't actually have, here, I'm just looking to make sure that I'm not wrong on this. Here it is. Beneficent announces rescheduled fourth quarter and full year fiscal 2024 earnings release and webcast. So that, I guess, is the reason. And it's going to be, for anybody who's interested, July 9th, Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, before the market open. So they are going to report before the market open on Tuesday of next week. And I guess that has the market in a frenzy, because here we go as it pushes into today's highs, 512 HOD. Let's flip to the 1 minute here so we can get a better look at how this bad boy is moving. Clearly a bit of a seller at this, 510, 512, because we did reject initially there, 1122, now rejecting again. Now a new candle forming. Definitely some issues with 5. All the closing prints on the 1 minute have been below 5. So despite the fact 512 HOD, there's definitely shorts pushing this bad boy down at $5. We'll have to see which one wins out. Now, how do you weasel your way into this? Well, there's a couple of ways. One, you can use these moving averages to see which one it's respecting on the day. Right now, on the 1, I don't see any respect for any moving averages. So let's look at the 5. The 5, sure, okay. The 10 exponential did seem to come in as a level of support on occasion. At that 3 2/3 general area, it did hold up there. But I got to tell you, I'm not really feeling the moving averages on this. What are the halt levels telling us? Well, halt levels oftentimes can be areas of support and resistance as well.
the latest up halt over here at 453. So 450 general area could be a level of support if we make it down there. You also have the closing prints of these candles over here from 1105 to 1110, all of which did actually close below 450 despite the fact that it wicked up. There it goes again, 5.25 HOD. This thing is on its way up 140% as we yap right now. I'm going to look for something off 450. I'm not punching in at highs. I don't want the 5 dip. I want nothing but that 450. This looks really good with the halt level and with these topping tail candles over here. I'll have to pack my patience to see if BENF wants to weasel its way down there. But before I send it back to you, Big Spile Burdette was telling me earlier about Bitcoin and BTC and how it was possibly here time to short micro strategies. I forget what Big Kyle said. Let me see if I can get that quick. He tagged me there earlier. No, it's gone. Oh, no, here it is. BTC testing the 200 daily from the downside. Time to think about shorting a name like MicroStrategies. Shout out to Big Spile. I mean, I don't really have a read on the price action of Bitcoin, but here's the daily chart on Bitcoin. Obvious resistance in that 70,000 general area, despite the fact that we got a little bit above it. My only concern is this looks awfully close to a double top, and the neckline was that 56,000 area. That took us back to April 30th and May 1st, and now we broke that. We didn't break it on a closing basis, and that's the thing. Look at the wick candle. It comes down into VWAP and then quickly got bought up to correspond to that double bottom that we put in that M neckline on the end of April, early May there. So, yeah, I don't know, Big Kyle. I don't know if I'm going to short anything to do with Bitcoin at these levels. I just don't feel like I have the right read on BTC. But, yeah, let me know how it goes. But, yeah, definitely big down day for Bitcoin as a result of that Mount Gox.
Yeah, that
debacle.
one falling off that mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
Clearly.
Bitcoin fell to the downside there on that. Also, thank you, Kyle Burdette, for the super chat. Remember, use exclamation point gift at Kyle Burdette all to help me defeat Ponzi Fonzie. So some fun chat wars going on there. Thank you very much to Kyle Burdette for that super chat. Also, I want to talk about Tesla. I know it was shocking. I'm looking at Tesla. Yeah, no. All jokes aside, I had the right call in the short, and I executed it poorly, which is frustrating. But, I'm going to use that to motivate me to keep going. We're still seeing lower highs in this, and this is another issue of me using areas that I should have been using as my entry point as my stop. Adara, stop doing this. This is, a thing I do a lot. So, hey, but look at this. We're still rejecting that 248.60 here in the book. So I am going to get back in this. I'm going to take a smaller position, and I'm going to add if we get to 249s. Why? Because that's the area that is more interesting. So smaller position, willing to add if we get to 249s there. If we get to that 249.25s, that's definitely the top. That's where I'll have to get out. And Tesla's like, oh yeah, I'm really gonna Tesla your patience here and your stamina on this. It's all good, but see, we get to 249s, we reject. I'm like, okay, Tesla, okay, I see you. Now what I wanna see is you go back to the lower 249 or 248s, and then I'll be pleased as punch with that. We're gonna try to get out 25s. Again, just things I've seen on the book here on TSLA. I keep forgetting Tesla's so bamboozling, and I'm not giving it enough room to do its weird Tesla thing. So, though it is Teslaing my patience, if I still see levels I like, I do think I owe it to myself to be trying to get involved. So there we go. We're not going to add till we take some out, especially because I think right now Tesla's trying to Tesla the waters here in this area. Oh. Eddie R saying it's fun wondering what new hair color you might bring each week. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit darker right now, but yeah, please, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I liked it. Spice it up a little bit, why not? Why does market keep going up, saying Rivian Millionaire? Yeah, good ad. That's a question for the market, Rivian Millionaire.
Yeah, I know.
We have no clue there. Your name is reminding me, actually, I am an EV name, but your name is reminding me of Rivian, which had, wow.
What a retracement, eh?
This thing bounces at 1410, pops up here, a little bit of a VWAP, loop-de-doop, then it pushes higher. Now it's coming to that 90 MA. This could be an interesting level, kind of near that pre-market top of that area at 1460. But man, if you had a long off that 1410, you are nicely in the money there in Rivian. Tesla, I'm not going to call it Bestla yet, but right now we're trying to push lower. For whatever reason, finding some support at a very random level, 248.40. So Tesla might be trying to form a long here. I'll get out if the If it's wrong, I'll get out. I have no qualms. I'm qualmless. Trying to be cautious of not revenge trading because I did have that short earlier. But what are you looking at?
No.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Yes.
Yeah. So Tesla here, I'm not always good at that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's my bad. So Tesla here making lower highs, though. Because last time we got to 248.9s. Now we're here 248.80s. I'm like, Tesla, what are you doing? And as I say that, Tesla's trying to push higher, so that's all good. They're trying to keep my sanity in Tesla, which can certainly, again, test your patience. I'm going to add a little bit here at 86s, and then I'm going to be trying to take out some earlier than intended. We're going to try to go for 49s, but right now we're going to go for an ad read.
All right, Benzinga Pro paid for itself on day one. Sorry, that's real review from a real trader using Benzinga Pro. Ram. Thanks to Benzinga Pro's exclusive news alerts, real-time market insights, and a community of over 6,000 dedicated traders, it's the fastest way to trade the news. And right now, you can try Benzinga Pro for the lowest price we offer during our 4th of July sale. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description box and join Benzinga Pro today. And I got to tell you, I've been using Benzinga on and off for the last 4 years. I know Adara uses it every day, and she uses the Pro, and I'm pretty sure, I don't want to speak for her, but you're a fan?
I'm a fan.
Yeah, she's a fan. There you go. Endorsement, unpaid endorsement right there vis-a-vis Adara LePage. Let's look at AAPL Ram because it's on the way back up to 225. It looks like I sold way too quick there off that 223.88 dip. It's about $1.10, a little bit higher than where I got in. We know for a fact, though, that 225 has been a bit of a tough level to achieve, to break, to hold above, whatever you want to say there. Unsurprising, you know, these $5, $10 level, especially the $25 level because of its, you know, the quarter. Going to be an interesting break or reject here. We'll have to wait and see what the rest of the day brings, but great hold above VWAP. And then you had a couple of hammer candles on the 5-minute chart that bounced off the 20 exponential. So if you missed that initial VWAP dip, which is the white line on my chart, you could have had this yellow line dip. The yellow line dip is a 20 exponential moving average, and those wicks dipped into the 20. But most notably, look at this. The closing prints all hold above the 10 exponential. Why is that important? Well, because to me, it's signaling that there's possible algo. Well, there's not possible algo. We know that there's algos here. It's just what the algos are doing, right? One day the algo might be using the 50 or whatever algo is present on Apple on that day or is dominant on Apple. There's probably multiple algos running on this, buying and selling this stock. But the point is, you want to see which one is the dominant player on the day using. And right now, I got to tell you, it looks like it's a 20 exponential on the 5. So that's what I'm trying to base my trades off here, and we'll see if we can get a bit of a better entry. Meta finally coming back down after printing all-time highs at 535 and 2/3. The 10 exponentials hanging out at that 531, 530 and 2/3 area. You know, we're talking about big ranges today on Meta, guys. The closing print from, what day did we leave? Wednesday? Was 510 on Meta. Guys, we moved up a nice $25 in one day on this name. So that gives you an idea what kind of strength this has. So I don't want to stand in front of it and try to guess the tops. I'd rather get in on retracements and move up with the continued strength. So 531 general area, I'll be looking there.
Yeah, I am very proud here to say I'm still in Tesla. And Tesla, like I said, was Tesla-ing my patience. Was it ever? Yes, it was, Tesla. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Tesla. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is here, basically what I'm doing is I'm getting in and out, scalping in and out. As I say that, we just made a slightly lower low here, which is perfect. I would love to see us crack below 248s. I don't know if we have that in us in Tesla, but I love that I'm speaking as Tesla now, But no, I'm joking. It's all good here. Basically, I almost panic sold when we were getting that 249. I said, Adara, you were going to give it to 249.25. Stick with that. So I did. So there we are. Again, this still could go against me. This still could go up. Now I'm risking 249 because I've seen enough lower highs that if we break decisively above 249, I will see that as distinctly different. Shout out to Obi there. But yeah, right now, I mean, I think we are having a little bit of a move down here in that Cybertruck, and it's something I want to take advantage of. What I've been doing is adding, subtracting. As we get into the 50s and 40s area, that's where I take out. But right now, I don't want to add any more right now until I get a little bit more out. I'm ready to thin out this position, call that herd, throw that rock at that Cybertruck window, as they did in that demo in 2019 that went awry, to put it lightly. So yeah, I just want to, until I have a little bit more kind of confidence that Tesla is continuing to go to the downside, I don't want to add too much here. That being said, I saw us get to 39s. If we can get to 39s again, I'll take out 2/3 of the remainder of my position, and then I'll add back in, because that's what you got to do. You got to trust yourself. That's my issue sometimes, is I'll see something in the book and then I don't trust it, because I'm like, Adara, you don't know better than the order book. In what world, Adara? So trust the book more. You trust yourself and you read on the book, but don't trust yourself more than whatever the book's telling you. Tesla breaking lower here. If we crack below 248, I'll get out here. I am qualmless. I have zero qualms. This is a really small position now, but I mean, that's, again, okay, yeah, there we go. We pop higher here. I'll get out. Please just punch. Got out 248, 29s. I needed this in my life. This is the type of scalping and trading I would like to be doing more of. NVIDIA, which I had my eyes on earlier and which I traded to questionable effect, is now also, isn't it great when you get out of longs at the lowest they've been since then? Look at me.
Oh,
just
that's, well, yeah. Yeah,
right? It's part of being a trader.
Exactly.
I feel honored, but no. All jokes aside, NVIDIA coming up here. I had 127.40 written down on my little version of a trade journal, which I call my tickers to look at document. So I do have NVIDIA 127.40 written down here, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Also, though, I remembered I had there was another coin. I had Coinbase on there. So Coinbase, okay, I had Coin 214. Coin's currently at 221. So I have no basis for Coin right now. But yeah, if I get a Coin basis for this trade later, I'll keep an eye on it. But great move to the upside for Coin. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm short NVIDIA at these levels, and I'm looking for a VWAP 50 exponential rejection. My line in the sand is going to be that $0.50, because we have a couple of crests at that $0.50. So if we continue to make those highs, I don't mind DCAing right in front of that $0.50, but then if it crosses it to the north side, that's where I'm going to end the trade. Let me show you what I'm seeing on the 5. I could have wet my beak there for a 20-penny winner, but I was a little bit too stubborn, and I want to hold this one for a bit of a winner here. So here's what I'm seeing. The 10 o'clock spike into the 50, reject. Another 10:30 spike, double top into the 50, reject. And here we go, coming right back into it now. So it doesn't have to reject at this level. It doesn't have to do anything. But, you know, if it does, I want to wet my beak. And I think it just came down. And I did get filled. All right, pamp it. Let's go, or damp it in this particular instance. So let's see if we can get a little bit more here on the monster NVDA. We're short 25s. It's printing 01s now. Decent look. Let's see if we can break down from 127. We can print a little bit more. This DCA I'm probably gonna is no longer valid, because we did reject off the level. Now it's going to be whether or not this is a scalp trade, or whether I can hold it a little bit more on the way down, maybe possibly to test that 125.5. I know last time we came into that 40-penny level and we held. Seems to be a buyer at 5. It's not reflected on the book. You don't see the size at 5, but we keep bouncing off it. So what does that mean to me? It means there's an iceberg likely hanging around that 5-penny area. Don't know what kind of size, though. We have to hang out at that level for me to have an educated guess. Here comes 6s again. Let's see if we can get down into 5 so we can scope this one a little bit more. Yeah, doing the dance a little bit above 5, a little bit. Here is 5 again, and see, it's not drop. There we go. Now 5 gives way, so then we bounce up again. So I'm trying to, you know, maybe hold it a little bit here for a bit of a down move, but it looks like the market. Well, we're at highs on the NQ June contract. So June contract, get it together, Sharif. It's September contract.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just unsure what to do here, to cover it or just to hold. I think I'm going to hold it, come what may. Apple right above 225 again, but it's having trouble with it as we expected, because we knew that the majority of the closing prints for AAPL were south of 225. We're back testing it right now. We're going to have to decide what we're going to do here, because Apple, very strong, 1.5% in the clear.
Yeah, what a day here. I'm just trying to let Tesla let me out of this year's Cybertruck. No, it's all good. I would like Tesla to let me. Okay, there we go. Nice. We're out of Tesla. And this is one of those frustrating times. And I know I've said this before, sometimes I'm a winning trade, then I try to replicate it and it goes against me. In this case, though, I felt very strongly about the Tesla short again, because we had these lower highs in the book, lower high, lower high, lower high, like by pennies. I was like, this is great. This is a good look. This usually, from what I found in the past, manifests in a nice trade, either if it's long or short. But now that if Tesla wants to bounce off 249, like you guys know how I feel. I will switch the style up. And if they hate, let them hate and watch the money pile up and going long 249s, risking into 248.60s. But yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say here is that, sorry, I got lost.
You're good.
I got lost literally in the Tesla sauce over here. No, the reason that I like the short is because we had these lower highs to the point where I didn't even think I'd get filled. I literally did not think I'd be able to get short. I was like, oh, this thing's gonna go without me. Ended up going to the wrong side with me in it, but it's all good there. Like I said, hiding that P&L because I'm really trying to work on the progress and the learning over the profit and the loss. And I think through building my progress and my process, hopefully that will help the P&L in and of itself. And Tesla, now apparently, like, Tesla, what are you doing? Asking for a friend. But yeah, if Tesla bounces here off that 248.60s, like I said, the levels I really like in Tesla are gonna be that 248.60 and the 249, and then also 248.25 on the short side. But let's see here. Right now we're trying to bounce off 75. I do like this look. I got involved at 249s because I saw us break above it and then test it and bounce. So that was the level I liked. I do want to be taking some profit as we get into 250s, if I'm even allowed to stay in the Cybertruck that long. But you know, Tesla, I'd love for you to take me on this cyber Uber to the upside. Was that a weird analogy? Sure it was. But yeah, the plan is, as I usually like to do in my trades, add, subtract, add, subtract. We're gonna take some off here at 25s. Then I'm gonna add if we come back down to 249s, because I want to be able to get a nice little position going. Like I said, trying to take more size. That doesn't always work out on that last short. But it's about trying. It's about finding new things to do. You never know until you try.
All gas, no brakes. The future isn't on. What'd you say, Fabian? Great show. 20,587.75 goes without saying, all-time highs, even though this is a futures contract. I didn't look at the NQ, I didn't look at the composite to see if that's accurate. I'm just guessing it is because I don't think we've ever been up here. Fantastic look on the day, up 0.86%. And I see you guys in the chat. I respect everything you're saying. The market is too strong to short today, but I gotta tell you, NVIDIA, I don't know, it's taking a day off. So I've moved down my stop. I've moved it down look, it was at the $0.50. I've moved it now into 40 pennies. So if we get that 127 break, here we go again with 127. I'm sitting at 88s for the fill for a nice 30 some odd penny winner, but we are getting support at the whole dollar, unsurprising, given the strength of the market. So I may be wrong, I may be foolish not to wet my beak here with some profits, but I'm just kind of a stubborn person by design. So I'm just gonna let this one go. And if it breaks down, it breaks down, it stops me out, it stops me out. The other trade I wanna let you know about, the strongest Mag 7 name on the day goes by the name META, 4% in the clear right now, but there is a gnarly retracement down. It's $5 worth of a retracement, topping tail candle into 535 and 2/3. And here we are doing the dance with the 10 exponential on the 5, trying to hold above that $10 level at 530. It's been 5 uninterrupted red 5-minute candles in a row. But the first time though, like I said, I mentioned this earlier, that Meta is actually touching the 10 exponential on the 5. So I want to see what we do here. And I don't have to be first. Shout out to Greg, man. He always said you don't have to be first. You just got to get involved, participate, don't anticipate. I want to see this one get in on the back end, as Neil likes to call it, basically showing you proof that yes, this is the support level, and now the buyers have overwhelmed sellers at this particular price during this particular time, and I'm going to participate in that. So keeping an eye on Meta here as it bounces off the 10 exponential on the 5. It did dip briefly into that 530, exactly the low of this hammer candle here, 530.33, so it holds up exactly at that $0.50. And now the body of the candle is above the 10 exponential, so if it does close this way, it will have held said 10 exponential. Down we go again below 127 on the monster NVDA. Alas, I still have not printed. I'm still waiting at 88s. Maybe I go unfilled here or there, I don't know.
Hopefully NVIDIA fills, that'd be nice. You got a little fill there in NVIDIA.
I wouldn't mind.
Also, I was seeing some questions in the chat there earlier. Yeah, I do not know what's going on with Meta news-wise. I was looking, could not find anything because some people were asking, what is Meta's deal? Yeah, it's just, I guess, a zucky day for a lucky, it's their lucky day if you're a Meta along. Tesla!
Bang.
Yesla. Okay, so Tesla, I say Yesla and then it drops. Tesla's having a hard time with getting above 249.30s in a way that is in any way meaningful. Like Tesla, I don't know what this issue is with your level. Maybe it hurt you in the past. Like, I don't really, to be fair, we did reject a little bit earlier because I used that as my entry for the long and then I ended up flipping. So that's definitely something to worth noting here. I do like this TSLA. I have no reason to leave the long right now, but I did de-risk some of it when I realized, hey, Adara, this might not be the vibe, but I'm not adding more until I see something way stronger. I want to see higher. I don't want to just see us bounce off 249. I want to see us make higher lows. I'm okay with averaging up if I want to build this position. I have no reason to leave yet. Would I feel more confident if we get a decisive break up into that 249.30? Yes, I would. But right now, I will stay. I do not want to leave. I will survive. Shout out to Gloria Gaynor. So yeah, I want to stay in this trade for right now. Yeah, as Neil said on when we did the market recap on Wednesday, Neil was like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you can average up if there's things you want to build onto. So I'm definitely interested in that. But Tesla, like, I have to trust myself and my read on the book in the same way. Like, you can't have hope if the hope is unfounded. That's what hopium is, right? So I want to see what we do here. I would like to see us decisively push above these 30s. I want to see a push into 40s. If we keep seeing these higher lows, then I'll have more reason to add more confluence. I will still scap out if I need to, but Tesla's kind of making me want to stay. How are you doing?
Good, fantastic. We covered that short on the Monster NVIDIA nicely there at my price, 88, so I did get what I wanted there. Happy with this trade. Again, nothing super fancy about this trade, but NVIDIA had shown me on the day its intentions, its propensity, whatever word you want to use, to reject off the 50 exponential on the 5. I don't have to guess if it's respecting the 50. It's already showed me that. Whether the question remains, whether it still respects that. I'm just trying to put the odds in my favor. That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to be Sharif Tadamis or anything like that. But the point is, I'm really trying to look at what situations give me the best possibility, and I felt this one was the most respectful on the day with exponential moving averages. That's why we got in here. Wet my beak, but this one still showing you. It's, you know, by this one I'm talking about NVIDIA, it's showing you that it's not really giving up the ghost as quickly at that 127 level as you may have hoped, or I may have hoped. And that probably has a lot to do with the fact that we're almost at 20,600 on the NQ September contract. We are 4 points away from that. Get it, Neil. What a move up today on the future. I didn't anticipate this for a shortened week. I got to tell you the truth. I thought this would be super dead. Brendo kept telling us that the volume would be low, that, you know, it would be like kind of tough trading. I don't know, man. There's something different in these here markets, man, because everything is up and to the dang right. Well, not everything. MACD 7 names and some of these chips for sure. So packing my patience here. I'm still keeping an eye on Meta because I'm still very interested in this 10 exponential on the 5, this general 530 area hold. I still haven't seen that green candle come in. It's now 6 uninterrupted red candles in a row on the 5-minute chart on META, and it's a nice $5 off the top there. So if I do get in, and we weasel our way back up into high day, that could be a multiple dollar winner. Knowing myself, though, I probably won't hold it, but that's really not your problem. That's more my problem. But anyway, keeping an eye to see if this 530 holds. I don't have to be first, despite what this individual there in the chat says. Let me go find it real quick. He's like, if you're not first, you're last, bruh. And I was like, what? I was like, that ain't true. Yeah, Neil likes that too. I can't find the individual who said that right now, but roasting Brendan. Eddie, I'm not roasting Brendan at all. Trust me, I'm not roasting Brendan. No, that's not you didn't take the right thing that I was trying to say there. Anurag and Sharif, Adara, monster day for the football world, 2 in 50 minutes. Don't I know it, baby? I'm going to have to miss that game, but that's the beautiful thing about being at this prop firm here. I got 4 monitors. You can only see one, right?
He does watch the, yeah, I can
yes,
confirm.
I got 4 monitors, baby, and you can only see one of them. So I will be running it on the side over here. And I'll update you guys, obviously, if there's anything interesting. Obviously, big games today. Portugal, France, Germany, and who's? Portugal, France, and Germany, and Germany and somebody.
Oh, look, it showed all our monitors. That was cool.
Oh yeah. I'll have
You
to
can see all my cups, all my drinks.
I know. These guys, Germany and Spain. Sorry, guys. That's the one starting in 10 minutes. Germany, Spain. Right now, odds makers seeing it down the middle. 2.65 to 2.75. Germany with a slight underdog here. Portugal, 3.4. France, 2.35. So definitely France the favorites. Unsurprising there. Can't wait to see it. I love to see Mbappe and Ronaldo on the same field because Mbappe idolized Ronaldo.
I know you talk a lot about that guy.
Yeah. Well, Kylian.
Kylian.
Kylian Mbappe. All right, guys. Meta did find support at 5:30 here. Ram. There we go. The first candle on the 5-minute chart to go green in about half an hour, essentially. 6 candles there on the 5-minute look. So on the way to 5:32. Good hold up here at 5:30 for META.
Yeah, I mean, hold up, Tesla. Where's the hold up with getting to levels that make sense? This thing has been. I keep forgetting Tesla is Tesla. Apparently, you do have to just stay calm, breathe through your nose like you're on a plane, and it's like crashing. No, I'm joking. But Tesla's not crashing. It's behaving in a way that is deeply frustrating. In that every time it looks like we're doing what we need to do, and we're getting to levels, Tesla does not want to actually behave, which is kind of frustrating for me. I'm gonna get out here. We broke below 60s. I had to. That's really frustrating. We did lose on that trade. I guys always know I stay positive, but unfortunately, you can't get shut down either. So that was, I'm not gonna lie, a bit frustrating here. I think Tesla might just be a range. I was trying to play it that way, the 248.60 to 249.30s, but alas, it's all good there. You know what, though? I'm always looking for new opportunities, new trades. As Obi always says, where's the next trade? Let's find out where. Yes, Eddie R. Alanis Morissette is Canadian. That is very random, but you ought to know that she is a Canadian icon.
No.
Remember
we were comparing her breakup album with Olivia Rodrigo?
We were
a little bit.
We were a little bit. We were
a little bit different. Obviously, Alanis got more of an alternative twist to her, right? Hey. Oh,
really?
Neil's wife is going to Alanis in Canada. Is it in Toronto? Okay, yeah, it's coming up in a week, he says. Yeah, I hope she enjoys her time. Obviously, a lot of nostalgic memories there, because that album in 95 was a big album. 95, 96, anybody who remembers that probably don't want to disclose your age. But yeah, here's a look. Guys, double top possibly coming in on the dead one here, AAPL. It keeps coming into this 225.25, and it does find a wall of selling. I didn't see it on the book, but I see it reflected there on the chart. Let's keep an eye on this one, because if this tanks, it could be a big short to the downside. I know Big Spile Burdett will be salivating over said opportunity, because he'll be looking probably to take that market short. But 225.25 on AAPL seems to be a bit of a local resistance area. I mean, I wouldn't be able to, you can't really call the double top until that 224 or 223.75 middle area of the M breaks, that kind of the V neck there, the bottom end of the V in between the M. Once that level breaks, then you can kind of say, okay, the double top is manifesting. You're not going to just get it off a quick rejection at a key level there. So keep an eye on that. Amazon back above 200, and Meta is holding that 530. So everything really strong, unless you're Tesla, unless you're NVIDIA. The other names all participating to the high side without question. It behooves us to look at some other names too, because we already know the Mag 7 are super strong. So let's weasel in the watch list over here and look at some of the other names that are moving on the day. So here is my big tech watch list. Microchips, you can see a little bit of zig, a little bit of zag. Like you got, for example, AMD and Intel very strong on the day. Micron and NVIDIA not really participating. And then the other names are kind of just sort of in between. Costs, obviously, you guys know that one for the memes, up big on the day as a result of the Kathmandu releasing whatever picture of a microphone and a flag, this, that, and the other. Polestar up again, 95 pennies, 7.5%. This one looks like it wants to take $1 organically to get back in the good books of NASDAQ. This one has been doing well as of late. Go back and have a look at the chart, but obviously year to date, it has gotten shellacked. 57 2/3% to the downside year to date on Polestar. Moving down the list here, as you can see, Chinese EVs destroyed as well as a result of the European Union coming out with more tariffs. You got XPeng down 10%. Li Auto not going to get hurt that much by that because they don't export cars. They're more of a domestic market only for China. But you can see Zeekr and NIO, both of which like to export cars, shellacked as well. 7.4 for NIO, 9.86 for Zeekr. So really bad look for all of them. But BYD exports cars. Why is it up 1/3%? Explain that to me. I have no idea. Bitcoin continuing to recover back into the 56.5 off that 54 double bottom. It was hanging out at 55s in the pre today. And some of these cybersecurity names, a mixed bag as well as cloud computing. So nothing really standing out too much here unless you're part of the Mag 7 or some of these small cap gappers are there.
Yeah, I have to say, again, I think there are times where my whole like piecing in and out strategy can work. There are times where it didn't. Tesla, for the most part today, that did not work out for me. But then I took a quick short scalp, took 23 pennies, and I was like, Adara, it's scalp season, baby. I'm clearly, to be clear, still very much down on the day. But man, I'm always bullish positivity. I'm ready to keep making things work. I think why things worked on Tesla on Wednesday, because Wednesday was the best day I've had in a little bit. That was because thank you, I appreciate that. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying it because what worked that day, that's what I need to remember. Why was that a good day? And that day worked for me because I was just in and out of things like I was not staying in trades long. I had levels I liked on Tesla, and I was just scalping them to the high heavens, trusting myself, trusting my read on the book. That is what I need to be doing. And right now, my trading is not on cloud 9, let me tell you. Like I said, not looking at PNL unless I need to make sure like things are all good, like stop loss wise, which we are. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is you just have to figure out what works. Sometimes things will work one day. Like there are some days with Tesla you can do that strategy I like using. Today is absolutely not one of those days. So I want to be cognizant of that. Tesla making lower highs in the book. This could be a short, but also if you pull out a little bit, there is a bit of a range here, 248.20s up to 249s. I want to be deeply cognizant of that. Thank you, Neil, for giving me those cost shorts. I'm not going to hop into this right away, but I want to be aware of the facts that I can.
If you don't mind my asking.
I don't even know. I just got the short.
Were they pricey, Neil, or no? They're super cheap. Okay, good.
At low cost.
Oh, 63 pennies for 100 shares.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Thank you for letting me know.
That's part of the benefit. I mean, a real benefit of being at Real Trading because I can't even short this on my platform. There are no shorts available for sale on IBK or for borrow on IBKR. Just goes to show you the benefits of being with Real Trading. Guys, I'm keeping an eye here on Apple because it's right back into that high again. So this 225 business that I kept talking about, that may have just been, a moment in time because here we go again, 225 and a third. And if we close like this, that'll be the highest close on the candle because you saw over here at 1025 when we printed those 44s, it was a quick wick, and then we dropped right back down below 225 and a quarter. We're almost back at high of day, 1 3/4 now on AAPL, and it's been a take your pick, a 20 or a 10. Exponential retracement, take your pick for real. The deeper retracements have gone into the 20, the shallow have gotten into the 10. So weasel your way into the trade, I guess, based on that. That's how I do it anyway. Keeping an eye on that. The trade I missed, though, is Meta. I mean, I'm just an idiot for this. I've traded Meta in the past with wide spreads, so that's not an excuse for me. And this candle dipped, 530.10. The subsequent candle, 530.22. So you didn't even have a break of 530. So if you got in, say, at $0.25 and you gave yourself to the break of the whole dollar, you didn't get stopped out. You didn't have a wick below that. So that's a clean dip trade that I absolutely missed, and that's all on me. 4.5% here for Meta, looking to go higher. It's already bounced to almost $3 off that bottom at 530. It's on its way into 533. 535.67 though is the high of day. Let's flip back into some of these small cap gappers. We really haven't been saying a whole lot about them. Costs, as Adair mentioned, obviously weak on the day, south of VWAP at the moment. VWAP is at 15 bucks. It's trading at 14 1/3. We'll have to see if it's able to weasel its way back above that volume weighted average price. BENF, that's the monster that halted when the show was starting. As the big boys ended the morning show, this bad boy was halted at 443. Since that time, it printed a 627 HOD. But right now, though, wow, that got super rangy, super quick. $4.50 to the low side, $5 to the high side. It's been ranging for the better part now of 10 minutes. on the 1 minute chart, BENF stuck here a little bit below VWAP, a little bit above. This is untradeable for me. I don't want to trade a range on these small cap gappers because the bottom can drop off at any time or the top can come off at any time. And it's not like range trading a MACD name. At least that's how I see it. So BENF looking to get above VWAP. This is the 5 minute look at VWAP right now. You can tell the last 10 minutes have all been $5 rejections as evidenced by these topping tail candles over here. We'll have to see if we can take it on a closing basis. I'm looking at my side screen and the game is almost underway. Germany going to kick off and it is now official, kicked off. We'll see as soon as somebody scores, I will let you guys know.
Yeah, I just got involved in the Tesla short. You might be like, Adara, Tesla at VWAP, this is a time to get short. Yeah, I know, but I really liked what I saw in the book here. One initially, okay, we're going to get out here. Sorry, guys, about that. That was, I wasn't prepared for that.
Intense. Yeah,
that thing dropped
great. That was great.
35 pennies in 2 seconds.
That's a great trade. That's a great trade.
Thank you so much.
But that was a greater reaction, I'm going to have to say. It was a good trade. Very good trade. But it was a hell of a reaction.
The reaction thanks you as well. But no, thank you. I want to explain why I took this though, because I know this is a look. I initially was interested in a long bounce off VWAP. That's why I was looking at this. I wanted the 248 short. When I didn't get that, I said, Adara, look, you guys know I love flipping directions. I know I'm generally short biased, but I'll flip directions when I can. And I saw this VWAP bounce. Tesla, we saw Wednesday and Tuesday and Monday, the VWAP bounces were strong. So I thought that was something I had potential for, right? I watched the VWAP bounce. We don't get it. And I'm like, Adara, we break below. So VWAP at the time, 247.60. It gets 247.50. We do some top and share, and I said, Adara, take this short. If we break above 70s, get out. I get short, and it pops a little bit. I'm like, we pop into 60s. I'm like, Adara, breathe. Then we get that breakdown. We broke 246 like that. I said, Adara, get out here. So in the end, risking like up to 20 pennies to make almost more than 60 pennies. I'm pleased as punch with that. I'm going to keep watching Tesla. This is the type of scalping you need to do. Sometimes you just need to remember what type of trading we're comfortable with. Thank you, Sharif. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Soccer players look like they're like fighting.
I
don't know how soccer works. But great look for Tesla. What else are people looking at here? Costs here on watch. You know, yeah, I'm still have costs on my side chart. Costs nudging this little head near 1480, which is another level I liked. So this is also VWAP. This is a level I liked at the pre, but now it's also VWAP. Get a pushback.
Number 3.
This is number 3. I don't want to, I have shorts. I don't want to be too frivolous with the shorts, but man, this cost 1480 rejection. I have my eyes on that. I don't know if I have 5 on it, but I have something on it.
Hey, I wanted to point out that Tesla and NVIDIA rocketed one up, one down at the exact same time. You got to wonder if someone was basket order trading these in the inverse. Here's the look. Tesla tanked below VWAP coming into yesterday's closing print, 246.5. Watch out for support at the $0.50. And then simultaneously, NVIDIA breaks the 50 exponential. At least it looks that way on a closing basis right now, 127.5-ish. It's trying to break and hold above that level. Fantastic inverse trade there. I hope somebody had that. I certainly did it, but I saw them happen in real time. Great look there. And shout out to Adara for that great short off, on TSLA. Look, Meta looked like it was going to reverse a little bit here after putting a couple of green candles off that 530 double bottom, looking to go through 533. And then it was looking it was going to break the 10 exponential. But there you go, a bottoming tail candle. The buyer saying, no, you don't. And it pushing it right back up again. So I won't take anything short or long on Meta until I can figure out exactly where it wants to weasel its way to. But right now, we are finding that support, at least for the moment, right now at that $0.50 level on TSLA, which is where we closed out on Friday. I can't believe the move on Tesla. Guys, in case you're wondering, if you haven't been with us in a few days, this is the half-an-hour chart on Tesla. We had been ranging, let's just say, between 185 and 175 for the better part of a couple of months. And then all the smoke came, and it came pretty damn quick. And you can see the move up with the volume. The volume follows the price action. You got to love that. So we break out well above that, and we just printed, I think, at the highs there this morning. We got up into 253.78. So yeah, definitely above that 250 level, having trouble with it on the day. Unsurprising there. And you can see on the 30-minute time frame that we got multiple topping tail candles through that 250 area, denoting the trouble with which we're having to break through that $50 area. But you know, if it keeps going this way, it's just a matter of time. before that level gets taken. I got to tell you, I didn't really anticipate this kind of.
You didn't anticipate it?
I didn't anticipate this kind of strength on Tesla, but it doesn't really matter why I anticipated because Neil's ready.
Yeah, for Tesla Pate with Neil.
Welcome to the lesson of the day. And you know what? I'm going to talk a little bit about Tesla, but it's not the trade in Tesla. It's what we learned from Tesla that should inform a pretty simple idea. Now, I'll make some notes. I'll have like, this is what I want to cover, blah, blah. Today, I actually turned over. I know exactly what the lesson of the day is going to be. We didn't zoom out on a certain stock, and we missed a huge opportunity. Now, Tesla wasn't that opportunity, but everything comes from learning in this market. See the channel that Tesla's been in? Look at the bounces off the lower highs. So the big channel that it broke, there's the powerful move it had on Wednesday when it broke that channel. But you also had this tight consolidation with lower highs that we've been in for a while. And when you see something like this, a stock which is generally trending down, it bounced off some support levels, but then you had this tight channel that it was in. Look at when it broke out of that channel. There is your breakout, the acceleration. When a stock coils up, think of it like a sprinter in the blocks. When you're coiled up like that, and you get a catalyst or whatever it is, and you break out of that channel, those are the trades that turn quickly from just like a normal breakout to an A+ setup. That's what Tesla was before today. The last couple of sessions, probably everybody, their top stock was going long on Tesla as a day trader. Fast forward to today. And the first example of that is going to be AMD. Now, AMD, very, very similar, tight channel. You see lower highs, lower lows, just hugging the 50-period moving average on the daily. It's been doing this dance for a while now, and then today you get the break. And we've been acknowledging there's not been many levels to look at for AMD. Look at this thing up in the high 167, 166 and a half. That's been a short area. Thank goodness it never actually set up a short, or I would have lost on the stock. Is what it is. We got lucky that it never curled there and trapped me into a short. But the breakout, it hasn't been clean for me. And the problem with that is sometimes you just got to zoom out. Now, as I'm trading it off the 3 and the 15, I'm not always remembering how big of a deal it is. It's a breakout trade, follow the trend to the upside. But when you zoom it out and you see that this is day one of a break of this trend, you should want it even more. And I'm going to double down for you and show you what happened the last time AMD was in a channel like this. It was different in that the channel started with the high. In this case, it started with a lower high, so it was a bit more bearish this time. But look at how long this channel was. When it broke, it took its time, consolidating and going higher. So it is what it is. But when it's a bearish stock, sometimes the explosion can be big. When this happened last time, you were just favoring the longs as it continued to go up. It wasn't always parabolic, but it was a heck of a trend. When you get this trend break, you've got to have a little bit more confidence in that long. It doesn't mean you're going to win for sure, but you should like it all that much more. And I'm going to go to one other one here because I was asked a question in the middle of the day or in the middle of the morning show, what do you think about Intel? And my first thought was Intel's not doing anything. Intel's still in the same channel. It's not going anywhere. Oh, right. In the moment that I was asked a question and it glanced at it and glanced back, Intel was breaking out. Now this is even more bearish, but look at the converging channel on this daily chart for Intel. It's an even tighter band on this chart than it was for AMD. Higher highs, higher lows, lower highs into this convergence, and then finally breaking it out. Now it was a bit of a trap. It broke out. I'm going to zoom it out so you guys can see. It took out this local high close to 31.5 at the open and pulled back in. So when I was asked, that's the first thing I saw. I looked at it, like, oh, it failed to break, it's not going. But look at what happens when it takes out that top. Acceleration, sprinter coiled in the blocks, and then liftoff. Absolute moonshot. Intel's not going to do 3% on a normal day. Unless it's earnings, it doesn't really do big moves. But the reason here for Intel and AMD, simply coiling up and running. Now, all of a sudden, I'm favoring longs on Intel until we get to the next resistance level. Maybe it's 35, 36. Maybe it's a 200-period moving average. Maybe it's the previous channel from before, which I'll leave up there. But I'm favoring the longs unless we're breaking back underneath 31.25. I can tell you that much. So when you get these big Well, sometimes it's a big stock, sometimes it's Intel. But when you get these big, long channels that a stock has been in for quite some time, you can find a local breakout. Anybody can look at a 15-minute and say, hey, look, Intel's breaking through the top here. But when it fails that break, if you haven't zoomed out, you don't know how big a deal it is if it gets back above. Because that was a huge channel it was in. We saw it with Tesla. We know what it can do for you in your trades. And now all of a sudden AMD wants to do it too. It's off to the races here. I mean, I'll tell you right now, when we do our ideas of next week, well, something breaking a channel like this has got to be front of my mind for continuation for next week, and then just look for the continuation long. It's coiled up, and it was trending down, and it's just coil, breakout, got to grab it. You saw Tesla for multiple days was an absolute moonshot. AMD, Intel doing exactly the same thing in here. So the idea is when in doubt, zoom out. Sometimes a local breakout goes from being a good trade to a great opportunity or an A+ idea because you zoom out, see the channel that it's breaking on the daily, and off to the races. Oh, I forgot one more I wanted to give to you. And this is an older one, but it's just as good. I wanted to mention Micron did something similar, but it wasn't. Just to give you an idea what it looks like when you have an up channel that gets broken instead of a downward channel. This is Micron. Boring stock for a very long time on that daily. But in an upward channel, it breaks that channel, bounces right off the previous bottom, and goes bat you know what crazy, and goes from slight up move to parabolic up move. This is why we like big breaks on daily and weekly charts, because everyone's looking at them. Shorts are scared when they break out, and the longs are like, oh yeah, we're going now. Let's pile into it for some swing ideas. So when in doubt, zoom out. I like trend lines. You don't have to draw them, but if you're not aware of a big trend breaking, you're going to miss those A+ opportunities. AMD gave you one today. Intel gave you one today. Tesla just recently gave you one. So zoom out, find those big trend breaks. When you held that channel for a while, it's just all the better when it finally breaks out. That's your lesson of the day.
Thank you very much, Neil. Informative, eloquent, and awesome as always. Neil Roberts, every day, dropping hot lines on Neil's lesson today, right around that noon time. So make sure to catch that. All right, while Neil was dropping said hot lines, I did weasel into a meta retracement level over here in the mid-80s. It's for a 20 exponential hold. I'm going to get out if it breaks a $0.50. I don't like my exit. My exit should be below the candle of this low right here, which is at 532.13. Alas, I don't want to give it to that much. So we're going to wait and see if I can weasel my way into, guys, it shows Neil and Obi's position on the position board. So if I can weasel into some profits there at 530.25, I'll wet my beak in and around there on META. Stops in place, beak wetters in place, come what may. Apple at day's high currently right now, it just printed 41's high days 44. So this one continuing to stair step is AAPL. You did get 20 exponential retracements on a lot of names here, all at one time. So if this one breaks here, the 50 penny area, I'm talking about Meta, I'm out. But look, you got a 20 exponential on Meta there. You got it on Amazon right there as well. And you got it on goggles, GOGL, also coming into the 20 exponential. Now, I don't know if the winds of change have come. Yes, I did get stopped out of my Meta long there. So we take that as a loser. I'll look to see if it does respect that level. We'll look to get back in because I knew that the stop was wrong. I had to give it to this level over here, which is 13s. But hey, you win some, you lose some. I knew that was making a mistake, but that's all good. Keeping an eye on that. Now, NVDA really changing its tune here. So all the levels that we have been looking at on NVDA, the 50 exponential, these areas over here at 127.5, even this 127 2/3, all have been broken. NVDA recovering quite aggressively here, 127.25 to go green. It's got to break above 128.25. So we're like less than 50 pennies now from going green on NVDA. It was much lower to start the day, but a great rounded bottom kind of shape here looking on NVDA. But I'm not looking to go long. In fact, I'll try to play it short if it comes into the IB high area, or I want to see what it does at that 128.25, because that is not yesterday's, but the last trading day's closing printed there.
Yeah. What? Pardon?
Say it again, Neil. AMD.
Yeah, AMD is on something else over there. IWM, I'll talk. I have some stuff I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about this IWM because I'm in it. Look at these lower highs. We flop on a break at VWAP. Then we come back up and nudge our little head at VWAP. That is a short to me. So I took the short here. I'm risking very little. I'm risking into this little top of these little baby areas here around 82 is risking 10 pennies. I have my beak water set for 17 pennies, and then I want to save a piece for the dream. So I have no qualms with this trade. Let's keep going here. About 1 penny in the money, just a cool whole penny there. Now I'm flat. All good. I have no reason to leave. We haven't gone more than 2 cents against me since I've gone in, so pretty subdued trade. Tesla. We saw it, we had 247 reject, then we got lower, but then we made a higher low. I was gonna take the long into 247, did not work out, unfortunately. I have noticed for whatever reason, I think my scalp instincts are better at shorts. I don't know why that is, but it's something I wanna be cognizant of. I'm aware, I think sometimes things can be a bias, but they can also be like an edge. You know what I mean? Like I can scalp a short, I can't scalp a long maybe, something to be aware of, so I did lose a little bit on that. But it's all good. They're really happy with that scalp I took off VWAP, and then the secondary scalp I took again off 246.50s. The other name I'm looking at is COS. I said to Sharif, I was heartbroken. I missed my VWAP rejection. I have no one to blame for that but myself. I didn't know the Tesla trade, so I can't be too upset. But you know, hey, COS, that means that when I see you next, I will be going at you with a viciousness, with a vigor. I almost took this short off the 90 MA rejection, and I was like, Adara, like, we're kind of seeing this as support, which we kind of were, so I stand by that. But if I see any kind of change in the tides here, another 14 rejection, 14 was a massive area of support. If you want to flip, I'll flip right with you, COS, and I'll be flipping out with excitement. IWM dropping lower, I'm happy.
Very nice. Yeah. Pasang Sherpa saying cost, like Costco, not KOSS. All-time highs. Yeah, I'm not really surprised there. Every time we look at Costco, it's printing new all-time highs. So we'll have to see whether it can actually, you know, print anything different than all-time highs. All right, I'm back in Meta. We're doing well here. 30 pennies in the money or so, 20 pennies, excuse me, in the money. I'm looking for a way bigger move up here. I'm looking for maybe 532.5. I'm really going to try and pack my patience because I'm already negative on it, so I don't want to take anything out here and continue to be negative on it. We're going to have to hold this one. 532.5. We had a bit of a double top. I'll probably take it out a little bit before that. This is what I'm looking at here on Meta. It's a 20 exponential hold. This is why I'm in the trade. It's going to have to hold this level. I've readjusted my stop so that it's the break of this candle over here, which is where I should have had it initially. So we'll see what we get with Meta, and we will not get upset. Apple, right, man, unbelievable strength today on Apple. It's not retracing like some of these other ones. Like you didn't have a 20 exponential retracement at the time, but you're definitely having resistance at this 225.44. To me, it's really the $0.50 here rather than 44 pennies. We'll keep an eye on it, but you know, it hasn't touched the 10 exponential since 1120. So going on an hour here of strength for AAPL. Well, great day for it today. Finding a little bit of resistance, though, as we move up there. Let's flip to some of the small cap gappers, see what they're up to. BENF, yeah, definitely held 4. So that dip down off that 627 HOD does bounce off 4 right into 4 2/3 we go. But most notably, we're still below that 4 3/4-ish area, which is where the volume weighted average price is. I can't take a trade on this one as a breakout unless it reclaims and holds above that area. ZAPP kind of selling off here. This one was a good small cap gapper for the last couple of days. It had a good morning as well, but the bell rung and it has been printing lower highs and lower lows since that time. So nothing for me to trade here on ZAPP unless it's a short, really. And we'll have to figure out exactly where to get short, but there was a whole lot of support at the 50 exponential or that $4. I wonder if $4 flips into resistance if it makes its way back up to $4. So we'll keep an eye on ZAPP. Adair?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Wow, yeah, I missed that. Also, guys, make sure you don't miss the opportunity to vote. Go in the chat right now, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Maybe it's Tesla, maybe it's NVIDIA, maybe it's Apple, maybe it's GME, maybe it's AMD, maybe it's COS. I don't know. It doesn't cost you guys anything to vote. So get involved in there. And exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. I'm getting out of this Tesla here. I should have scalped the whole thing out. Instead, I scalped out 2/3. Basically, what was I doing here? You may ask. I wanted the long here into 247. So we had higher lows in the book, so I thought we'd get a little bit more. We didn't. I got out. I think more or less flat in that position, so that's fine. IWM, can you make up your mind, please? Make up your IW mind. I'll be a couple pennies in the money, and then I'll be a couple pennies out of the money. So I have no reason to leave until we break above 80s. I know I'm risking like 8 pennies to 10 pennies, but this is a stock that I don't want to risk too much on. I don't like how we seem, like we're protecting VWAP still, to be clear. But we have this bottoming tail candle, and now we're trying to bounce off the 90 MA. I do not like that semi-M.
Ooh.
I do not like that IWM. I do not like that in a pen. I do not like that on a Friday. I don't know what I'm saying. Shout out to green eggs and ham for some reason. But would you eat green eggs? As an egg enthusiast, would you eat green eggs and ham?
I don't know, Adara. I don't know. I've eaten some
really
weird colored
random.
eggs before that.
Really?
Like those free run ones. They're really dark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is good. Patty got me a whole bunch from his buddy who has like farm or whatever, and I ate.
Not connections.
Yeah, Patty, clearly. He's not here today. Guys, big move here for NVIDIA. Like we were talking about this rounded bottom that's coming in to that area of resistance, 128.25. That's where we closed out on, what the hell day was it? Wednesday. I keep losing track of the week, but the IB high most notably takes us into that 128.85. So I'm watching how it trades in and around this area, this 128.25. But if it weasels its way up into that $0.75, then you got to start, putting resting orders in and around there, because we could definitely take a turn down here. Now, look, we touched this 129, 128.85. There was a bunch of touches there. Earlier in the pre-market around 4:15. Don't know why I got a bump into there. But again, we touched it at 8 a.m. Those institutional prints came into that level. That 8:30 NFP number also bounced into 128 2/3, and the IB high, 128.85. So I'm very interested in this level here on NVDA, but it's going to have to make its way up. And it's not far away right now. Just touched about 128.5. Doing the dance with no pants with $0.33 right now, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm still in this meta trade. It's still holding the 20 exponential. It still hasn't got me out because it hasn't broken the low end of this candle over here. The low end of that candle is 13s. I put my stop out at 12s. We're in the money right now, but I'm nowhere near taking profits. I want to take profits in the 531, nearer to 532. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I will not be taking profits early on this name. I don't care. Let what happen. Keeping an eye on all these names. So I don't really have anything else to look at the moment. Oh, NVIDIA. Here we go, Ram. It just put in a topping tail right at that level. But I'm hesitant to want to take it here initially. I want to see how this candle closes, because you could get a bit of an inter-candle tug of war between buyers and sellers. So you get a little bit above, it looks bearish, and then it flips to bullish, flips back to bearish. So I want to see how it closes, and then we'll make our decision based on that. So yeah, NVIDIA at a critical level here, at least in my books, and I want to see how it resolves. The other one that's at a critical level as well, not a critical level, but off, a level that we kind of identified, this 225.5, 225, low 40s, and level of resistance on AAPL, and it just broke the 10 exponential. Now, it hasn't touched the 20 since 1050. You had these bottoming wicks over here, but neither of them touched the 20. And here we go. We're breaking through 225 to the downside, and we're awfully close to getting into that 20 exponential, which on my chart is 224 mid-80s. So keep an eye here on AAPL. Obviously, very strong, 1.5% in the clear, but definitely encountering some midday resistance. So keep tabs on that. I'm watching the game, guys. I've got it. España 0, Alemania 0, 23.09 in the first half as we speak.
Nice. Yeah. How long does the Euro Cup go on for? Because it feels like
July
it does not
15th.
end.
We're in the
July
knockout stages now.
Oh,
Adara.
okay. So it's getting like.
We're in the quarterfinals now.
Oh.
So the last 8 are in.
Yeah.
We were in the round of 16. We finished up that. Now we're in the round of 8 called quarterfinals. So this is the first game of the quarterfinals.
Nice, that's cool. Yeah, I remember FIFA too. I know FIFA's pretty long as well. I had
The World Cup, you mean?
Yeah, FIFA World Cup. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember there were people, I worked with some girls that were like, oh, we got to go to the back to watch the soccer. So they'd be like back there watching. Yeah, shout out
they're
to
intense.
FIFA. But yeah, Tesla. Lower highs. I took another scalp short. That is what I will continue to do. I will be honest, I panicked a little bit and got out earlier than I should have. But no more panic. No more panic in Tesla. If I keep seeing stuff I like, I will just short it to that. Well, I'll do long scalps as well. But like I said, my read on longs is a lot iffier for whatever reason. So I think that's where kind of the short bias comes from, because I'm not really good at finding longs. But yeah, that meta, I hope you print on that meta. That's a tasty little meta. Look, best of Zuck as always.
Yeah, I mean, we're 20 pennies in the money, but it's not doing anything here. I mean, I need it to go up a lot higher. So I'm going to pack my patience on that, but we've got a lesson. Du jour. So let's get to that. We are talking about moving average, convergence, divergence all week long, baby. And today, no different. We get a little bit more nuance. Today, we talk about moving average, convergence, divergence in the context of support and resistance. So let's get right to business. Welcome, traders. Today's lesson explores combining MACD signals with support and resistance levels for more confident trading decisions, as we always do. Let's talk a little bit about the basics. MACD on its own. We know the MACD crossovers can be good signals for both longs and shorts. We know there's a bullish crossover and a bearish crossover. We also talked about divergence, looking at price action, MACD divergence. We know that works well as well. But sometimes the signals can be a bit fuzzy, and that's where we get into a little bit of trouble. So let's talk about how support and resistance helps unfuzz that fuzz. So support represents, just so you guys know, support represents price levels where buying pressure tends to be strong, potentially halting or reversing the downtrend. Conversely, resistance is kind of the opposite of that. Resistance represents price levels where selling pressure tends to be strong, potentially halting or reversing an uptrend. And this is exactly how support is depicted on the chart. You typically see these area troughs come into a general area. It doesn't have to be an exact price, but a general area. In this case, it's about 51.25, 51, and it seems to be met with buying every time it dips into that level, right? So that's how it's represented on the chart. Very much the same for resistance. It keeps bumping in, cresting at a specific price level or specific price area, and then seems to find sellers around there as well. I'm keeping my eye on Meta because we just got into 531, right back down below into 530 3/4. So I'm packing my patience with that one. My out is going to be the break of 530.10. So the power of combining them. So imagine the MACD is indicating a bullish crossover, suggesting a potential price increase. But what if the price is hovering right at a key resistance level, right? The selling pressure at that level could dampen the upside move. So using MACD with support and resistance, here's how to combine both for better signals. Your bullish confirmation is the first one we're going to talk about here. A bullish MACD crossover, and I'll show you what it looks like on the chart in a second. A bullish MACD crossover near a support level, so you get a crossover of the MACD line above the signal line at where the price is near support, that strengthens the potential for a price bounce. The support level adds some confidence that the price increase might have more momentum. Conversely, the bearish confirmation, the same thing but in the contrapositive. A bearish MACD crossover near resistance levels strengthens the potential for a price decline. The resistance level adds some confidence, oh, I hit that wrong, that the downtrend might continue.
Confidence and confidence.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll work off it. So this is what it looks like here. You can see on this particular stock, we have lower highs and lower lows, and then the price action weasels its way down into that lower support level, that trend line that we drew at the bottom end of the channel. But look what happens once the price reaches said support level. You get a MACD crossover, which is when the MACD line down here crosses above the signal line from south to north. That is indicating to you potentially that the trend is reversing. So when you add that MACD has crossed, you add that price support has bounced, you're adding two check marks. Again, it's a balance of the evidence, a balance of the probabilities. You're looking to see which way the market is showing or leaning to, and then you take a trade based on that. The opposite, bearish confirmation. You get into this 84.25 resistance area that we had been at before, and we hadn't broken. But look, lo and behold, once we get into that area, look what the MACD does. You get a bearish confirmation, meaning that the MACD is crossing below the signal line from north to south. All the while, you're getting that rejection on the price at that area that you typically expected because you should have charted and known it had been previously resistance. So taking a look at the chart, what you're going to look for is a stock nearing a support level or a resistance level, and then you're going to look for the MACD to show you a bullish crossover indication or a bearish crossover indication. So you're looking at price and you're looking at MACD. This combination suggests a possible buying or selling opportunity with support or resistance potentially acting as a launch pad for a price increase or decrease. Again, it works both ways, whether you're going long or short. And remember, guys, it's not risk-free, right? Just because the MACD and the price action seem to be jiving, it's by no means risk-free. False signals do and will occur. Even with support and resistance, there's no guarantee the price will respect the signal. Always practice good risk management. That includes stops as well as position sizing. And fake outs are a part of the game. You just got to get used to them. Sometimes price might briefly break out or below support and resistance before reversing back up or down, depending if you're long or short. You gotta be cautious and make sure you're not chasing these breakouts. You're looking for confirmation first. And beyond the basics, guys, one thing we didn't get to today that I maybe will get to in a future lesson is the strength of the levels. It's also quite indicative. Stronger support and resistance levels, meaning that they've been in place for longer, have been tested more times. If they get breached, it strengthens the signal. For example, the level I gave earlier was 165 support on Apple, 200 resistance on Apple, obviously, before it got broken. Those were tried and true levels. Every time you dipped into that 165 area, you got bought up. Every time you weaseled your way up to 200, you sold off. So the more times a support or resistance level has been in place and has been tested over and over and over, the stronger the signal is once it's broken on a decisive basis. Always keep that in mind. And you should also be doing your charting on multiple time frame. You got to do multiple time frame analysis. You got to analyze the MACD and the support and resistance look that you think that you see. You got to analyze it on different time frames. Is the daily showing you what you need to see? Is the hourly? What do you chart on typically? 5? All right, so jump up to 15. Is it showing you the same thing? How about the hour? How about the half an hour? So you need as much confluence as you can get between these multiple time frame confirmations. And just the final word here, guys, combining moving average, convergence, divergence with support and resistance most certainly adds another layer of confirmation to your trading decisions. By understanding how these tools work together, you can certainly improve your ability to identify potential entry and exit points with greater confidence, Adira. Bang.
Yeah, thank you, Sharif, for, as always, for preparing those lessons. And yeah, I think what you said as well, the more times you see support and resistance, the more that they come in to play and the more likely it is to be interesting. That's what I tried. I have something I want to talk about with that in mind, and it's this Tesla breakdown. I took 5 pennies on this and it dropped $1. So the takeaway from this is like, why did this happen? What was I doing with my life? Well, basically what happened was I should have risked more earlier because then by the time that happened,
I'm just happy. Yeah?
Oh, nice.
Killed it on Meta. Took $1.50 on Meta.
Oh, nice. I thought you were doing it for soccer. Okay, that's amazing. I'm so pleased to sponge.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the trade?
No. No, I just want to celebrate.
I'm happy for you. Shout out to you. Yeah, I wish I could hit that dollar club for Tesla, but basically what happened was it went down $1. I took 5 cents because I wasn't feeling as confident in the breakdown. I didn't have as much to risk. I was like wiffle waffling. I was like, so I get out. The second my order fills, this thing drops another 50 pennies, and then it ends up dropping $1. That was frustrating, but you know what, Tesla? I will continue to watch you for a scalp. I'm still watching these half-dollar and whole dollar levels. Obviously, that's disappointing, but I'm going to use that disappointment to push myself harder, because that's what you got to do. Sharif is dancing with his tongue out. I am so happy for your trade. How are you doing?
Good. I want to sing that song, but nobody knew when I sang it last time from White Men Can't Jump. Only Neil knew it. So, you know, anyway. All right, the whole point of getting into this was a 20 exponential retracement on the 5. We made that very clear. We also talked about that 530 general area holding. It did hold as a general area. So here's the look on the trade. Let me zoom in a little bit. We got cut up on it initially, but I weaseled my way back in for a much bigger winner than I had a loser. So initially got in at 530.80, got out everything at 529, I got in at 529.80 and got out at 529.20. So we lost 60 pennies there. But then I weaseled my way right back in at that same price, 529.80, and we covered everything at 531.20. So I'm very pleased with this trade. It did give me a bit more of a bump up into 531.5, but I did use a flatten key, so that it sucks to be me. But keeping my eye on this level, I also want to mention that this meta trade was probably best for a scalp. That is until, of course, the lower highs pattern that we're seeing on the 5-minute look here gets broken. So it's been crest, crest, and yet another lower crest. Now, how does that change once we break through this double top at 533 on a closing basis? I know it looks a little bit skewed, so this looks a little bit better. So decent bounce off the 20 exponential at that general 530 area, but the trend is still to the downside despite the 4% plus move on the day. That is until we break and hold above 533. At least that's my look right now on it. 35th minute, still 0-0 in the game. I've been watching, and I got to tell you, very even so far between these teams. I wasn't surprised, though, because they're very, very evenly matched, España and Alemania.
Nice.
Do you notice how we're saying a lot of these, I don't know, you haven't been watching the tournament, but like Czech Republic is not called Czech Republic anymore, it's Czechia.
Oh.
Right? You're calling the name of the country by how they say it locally.
Cool, like Italia.
And Turquia. Right?
Yeah.
You don't say Turkey anymore, you're saying Turquia, right?
Yeah.
Which is how it's said in Arabic, which is funny enough. But how come we're not saying Almania? How come we're saying Germany? Because they don't say Germany in Germany.
Same with, yeah.
I need to know, I need answers.
A lot of those countries are, there's different names for different things. That's interesting. Also, yeah, I didn't talk about this a lot. I'm 30 pennies in the money in IWM, which I know, it's so funny. I was getting all depressed about my Tesla, but it's like, IWM's still going fine, Adira. You're going to find the silver lining. As Obi says, where's the next trade? For me, the next trade, admittedly, will probably still be a Tesla scalp, but it's going to be a Tesla scalp that I manage better and do not panic sell 5 pennies in the money instead of a possible $1. There you go. Progress, growth. But anyways, this IWM, like I said, I took out half that lower low. I was down to add, but I haven't had a good place to add yet, so I don't want to add as of right now. If we break decisively into 60s, I'll get out. I'll take my 12 pennies. Right now, though, I'm just interested in seeing these continued lower highs, lower lows. I almost bumped you on my elbow, Trenda. Shout out to Trenda.
Aww.
But yeah,
You got to be nicer to Trenda.
I need to be nicer to Trenda. I also need to you just got to be confident. You got to believe in yourself and your trades, because no one else is going to believe in your trades for you. No one's else going to believe in you.
I haven't heard anything from the Katina man lately. Usually he like enters the chat super early on to make sure everybody's good.
I think he did, maybe on Monday or Friday.
Yeah,
briefly,
he did.
For like half a second.
Seen him. Yeah, I remember that. I haven't seen him lately.
But yeah, I've not seen him either. Apparently Czechia is just the name of the country now, says Ritz. I did not know that. AMD curling back to the downside, says Zach Bobek. Let's keep an eye on AMD. Let's see how AMD is doing. I just put Tesla AMD. Wow, Adira, come on, man. AMD is,
Deutschland.
Okay, that was a pushback.
Oh, that's number 4, by the way,
that topping
guys.
tail candle.
We got to have an odds, what is it called?
Above, over under?
Over under on chair pushbacks on the day.
I'm scalping AMD here.
Get it.
It got my pushback. So now it has my heart, it has my mind, it has me on it. If we break here, I'm not gonna get filled. But I want to see a stable of you up. If we get, 90 MA, if we get to 70s, I'll get out. But I really do like these types of shorting the pop type moment. Obviously, this isn't really a pop, it's kind of the opposite. But it's the popposite, I don't know.
Oh.
But I really want to see what we do here. I, again, highly doubt I'll get filled, but I like this 172.50s. I like the fact that we had this topping tail candle. I am absolutely not getting filled on this, but man, I will keep an eye on it. AMD, if you want to keep rejecting here, I have no qualms. I am qualmless, and I will short. I need to stop saying qualmless.
She lacks qualms.
I do have no qualms, Shuri.
She
I am lacking. All the qualms are sold out. Out for the week, maybe next week. Maybe we'll see tomorrow.
Oh, baby.
But I'm seeing lower highs on AMD on the books, so we're going to have to solve. Oh, okay, no, and as I say that, we pop up happy I didn't get that short. It's all good. But AMD, if you want to bounce off 172.50, I'll take you long then too. As I said, I am qualmless. There we go. IWM still chopping and churning. Tesla at 247s. I'll have to keep an eye on that. What a fun day. I love trading.
Yeah, it's been a good day. Gorev, you were right about NVIDIA and Tesla are moving in opposite to each other today. NVIDIA retracing and Tesla trying to bounce. We'll have to see if it continues to do that. But I mean, just because it did it in a moment in time doesn't mean it continues to do it throughout the day. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Gorev. I'm going to keep my eye on it. Ram, Poet, P-O-E-T, moving, doing things here. Decent look and a great looking chart, unabated to the high side. Started out its life today at 295. Best it could do on the day so far, 379, up a cool, nice, a decent 24.33%, hugging the 10 exponential on the 5, but it has had its moments when the retracements have gotten a little deeper. I'm hesitant to say that this was a 20-period exponential retracement right here between 1120 to 1130. I'd rather look at it as a VWAP hold. Why? Because it showed you its propensity to respect VWAP initially. So I don't want to say, oh yeah, it's just randomly respecting the 20 exponential. No, you got a 10 a.m. bounce off VWAP, another one at 10:05, and then a third, an OB Trice one right there at 10:10. It moves up. What's going on? She okay? What's going on over there, Ram?
We will never
I don't know, but Ram-Ram's having a good old time over there. And then 1120, 1125, and 1130, it bounces off VWAP. This looks awfully strong. There have been times when it's wicked below the 10 exponential on the 5, but most of the time it is holding up there. So Poet, decent look. Let me give you the deets. It's a bigger company. It's about $750 million, $250 million, excuse me, 225 million. It's done 2.75 million shares on the day, and the float on this bad boy is 60.5 million shares. Let's find out what the short float is on it, and shout out to Nos Boss and his crew. Shout out to Michael Nos for coming through today and doing his little analysis on the, what's it called? The presidential election cycle. Thank you, Adair. So the short float, negligible. Of that 60.5 million shares, only 0.91 of the float is shorted, so quite negligible there. Don't look for a short squeeze on this name, at least quite yet. But what I'll be looking for is something around that $3.50. So much do I like that level, I will now use my alerts to let me know when this weasels its way, if it weasels its way back down to that $0.50, because I do want the smoke. By the way, Anthony Taylor is the referee for the Germany-Spain game, and I think he's one of the top referees in the Prem. So this one is going to be a decently officiated match.
I always wonder how you become a referee. Do you have to go to referee school? Like
so usually they have other jobs. They've got like their gig on the weekend or the weekday.
Okay.
They referee once or twice a week. So they're a fourth official, which means they're on the sideline and the referee. So they do dual duties usually, right? Like,
that's interesting.
It's like a once a week gig, so you can be anything else. Some of them, like, they're lawyers or doctors. They do other
so it's
things.
like their side gig.
Yeah,
that's
but
really
they get
cool.
paid. It's a quite lucrative side gig there, Adira.
Same word. Share push back for the same word.
There you go, baby.
But yeah, no, we love words on how to trade. We love real words. We love fake words. We enjoy them. I'm curling back down. I want to talk about my Tesla scalp short. I see Tesla rejecting that 9 EMA. I say, dare I take it short. Took like 17 pennies with the first 2/3 of the position. Got the rest of the half. Sorry, I will move less. I apologize there. I apologize. Perhaps. But so Tesla here. Interested in this to see time.
How's that sound?
What's going on? Well, while we deal with some technical difficulties, I'm kind of just what are we doing, Neil? Here, do you wanna? I'm kind of waiting. I'm having some of my lunch, some pasta here. Yeah, go for it.
So the only thing I'm still in is Rivian, but the rocket ship that is AMD might be pulling back, and I see a bit of a pattern here. Can you do my chart for a second? Although it's really awkward to hold this and try to manipulate my charts, I'm not going to be able to. But if you look at what's happened on AMD, so you have previous high, and then you break and dip into it. There's the next top, and then you dip into that one. That's the last trade I've had in AMD, which is 170. Then you had this top get taken out and consolidate for a bit, and then dip back into it. So the stair step would look like a 172 bounce, just going with the trend, obviously. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is in the chat, I was I was asked about Mara, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to short Mara at 20 this time. No, that's not. That wouldn't be any good." And right again, you get a false break through 20. Try to take out those highs and right back down. But you know what? You're holding trend up. You're holding VWAP. So I do feel like at some point, if we take out 2010, this could be a breakout trade on MARA. Just something that we're watching. But AMD was the rocket ship. I think it continues to be. I do want to, let me see if I can make one more. We're going to type it in. Goodness.
Yeah,
typing with one hand stinks. Apple is still trying to hold trend as well, but it lost 225. So I was in that dip buy. I'm waiting for VWAP here. That's been the best entry price, is like 224 and VWAP. But looks like Sharif is back at the desk, so let's throw it on back to the midday.
My bad, guys. I didn't know that Adair's mic would have a moment, but let's look at what is doing well at the moment here, Ram. Right back down we go on META below 530. Happy I did not overstay my welcome because we kept yapping about how the trend was still to the downside vis-a-vis these lower highs. Now we're looking for a possible flat bottom break. You don't say. It's a descending wedge here with 529, 530 general area as the level, but you're not getting that bottom break. And I don't anticipate you're going to get that vigorous break like you may on a small cap gapper. You may weasel your way down. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. The level off which I had my stop based on the long was this candle over here. So the low there is 532. Sorry. The low of this candle is 528.77. So we're still well above that candle at the moment on META. So we are, though, breaking down now, not on a closing basis quite yet, but below the 20. So there's really nothing to save us price action-wise, indicator-wise, until VWAP, essentially. That 526.5, 527 is really where I see the next level of support on META. Look, it was a monster. It was up over 5% of the highs, breaking down now about 3.8% as it comes off the highs. Now, let's keep an eye on the other Mag 7 names because that's not the only one that's retracing. AMZN as well, coming down now below the volume-weighted average price. However, I want to bring your attention to these incrementally higher lows. First trough, 1010. Second trough, 1120, and if you want to call this thing that we're currently in right now at 1245 a trough, sure you can call one. Just keep your eye on that 199 and a quarter, 199 and a third. Why? Because that's the area low that we printed at 1120. So if we get another low below that, this could be an interesting possible retracement, at least maybe into the IB high. The IB high. You're good? Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, Adaira's just setting up her mic, so we'll give her a second there. No, it's not your fault. What do you? You can't do anything about that. Anyway, it bounced off the 50 exponential right now on the 5. So I'm keeping my eye on these retracements, man. I think they're going to give us opportunities. It's just about waiting for your moments and getting in on the right area. Look for what the instrument that you're looking to trade is respecting on the day. Don't guess, hey, you know, the 20's coming in. Let me take one off the 20. If it hasn't taken anything off the 20 that day, I'd be suspicious.
Thank you so much, guys. I apologize for the wait and the issues there. Thank you to Opie and Neil with their Opie Confidence and Neilage coming in there and covering for that. And thank you, Sharif, for those words as well. Also, the soccer players are still soccering on the side.
No,
there.
they're walking off.
Oh, well,
it's halftime. They got to break it.
I clearly do not understand soccer. I watched Ted Lasso. But anyways, and that's not the point. You know what is the point, though? Voting.
Yes.
If you want to hear Opie and Neil chat about some stocks and have Sharif gesticulate wildly and move vigorously on the green screen.
That isn't what I do.
I'm joking because you said I said you stood and then you said I don't stand. And now I'm overcompensating. But seriously, yeah, if you want to hear some insights on stock, go in the chat right now. Okay, we joke. It's all, we roast each other from a place
100%.
of enjoyment. So go in there in the chat, exclamation point, join space, $, what, Ramin roasts us to bully, but go in the chat, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy, Tesla cost.
I need to cover this.
Whatever you have covered.
IVP is moving here, guys. I have no idea what's going on here. 3.25% IVP flying to the high side, about 45% move here. This is a tiny stock. Be very careful with this name, okay? It's $1.96 million market cap. It's done 3.33 million shares, and the float is 914,000 shares. So sub 1 million. That tells you all you need to know about that. Let's find out if it has a short float of note. IVP, yes, it does. 12.75% of the float is short, according to Trade Ideas. So we could get some parabolic action here if the shorts start getting squeezed. I'm looking at my news blotter, and I don't see anything for this name. So right away, I start thinking in sympathy with something else. So what is it? What does the thing do? They inspire veterinary partners, owns and operates veterinary hospitals throughout the United States. Okay, so is there a vet catalyst here of some sort?
IVP.
IVP. Thank you. So this is a former runner. As you can see on the daily chart, it has these outlying days with topping tail candles. That is quite indicative of a stock that squeezes and then retraces either same day or next day. For example, look at this day here on the 4th of January this year, the second trading day. We have a decent day. From top to bottom, we moved up 64% that day. Then the next day, we move down about 55%. So we give back the entire move, and we make a newer low. So look for this one to retrace. It did have an outlying day on the 3rd. So this one did get into the 50 exponential about 316 and reject. But look at the body. The body is non-existent. That's telling you that this is a day trade only stock. What you have, the entire candle is composed of a wick, both top and bottom, and there is nary a body to be had there. That just tells you all you need to know about the equilibrium of this name. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. $2, an interesting area here to see if we can hold above it on a closing basis. If we do get into 250, I'll be looking for resistance that owes to the high that we put in on June 27th. And then if we really clear above there, I'll be looking to the Wednesday's, I was about to say yesterday, $3 or that 50 exponential on the daily IVP. Now let's switch to the 5-minute here and see what the levels are. So we're getting well extended off the 10 exponential on the 5. The 10 exponential is hanging at $1.75, and we just printed 214 HOD on this name. IVP, Adara, small cap gapper showing up midday at highs.
Yeah, IVP I feel like runs every once in a while. The dogs start barking there to the upside. Yeah, I added to my IWM short because we came to that 200.50 area, so I added a little bit. Did average down, but sometimes you have to add to the position while you're in the money, so I didn't mind that. Tesla, though, woo! I need to stop making weird sounds every time Tesla does things. Baby pushback. Yeah, TSLA, I got involved in 246s. I knew this could kind of go either way, right? Because 246 was an area, it was a bit of a bottom, so I said if we break below, which we have done, I thought that'd be a nice little breakdown. And then I got involved in 246. I said, Adair, if you see something distinctly different, shout out to a certain individual who you'll be seeing on the show in just over an hour. I was like, get out, right? But honestly, I want to show this out as well, because you don't really realize the importance of the distinctly different, like as a saying, until you read the tape in the book more.
Is that your chart or Sean's chart?
Oh, that was a joke. I thought you'd be serious for a second. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not all of these worked out, mind you, but this is my favorite type of trading, when I can just get in and out and scalp like crazy. So I did add to my position 246 at 18s because I didn't see anything distinctly different to make me leave. When I say distinctly different, I mean like, how Opie says it, right? If there's something in the tape or the book that is awry, that is not in trend, that is different from what you were seeing earlier, that's when you leave. Speaking of which, IWM trying to curl back up here, question mark. So I'm gonna have to go, I'll leave Stressla cook for a second here because we were seeing lower highs in the book. And IWM breaking above the 90 MA, no you don't. I am leaving that, but I'm pleased as punch with the journey there. Did take profit on some of it. Maybe I shouldn't have added, but I liked it at the time, so it's all good. And at WM, you want to bounce off IME? That was not English. If you'd like to bounce off the 90 MA, I will take you long as well. I should consult one of my 2 cups of coffee or caffeine here and take a look at Tesla. How are you doing?
I'm good. I almost fell off my chair the other day when I heard Olivia Chow, the mayor of Toronto, say distinctly different.
She did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she stole it off OB.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
definitely
well, we're going to have to talk to her about that because that's not acceptable. But yeah, NVIDIA, guys, I mean, this was a trade that I missed this one. We were yapping about this area being, that good area for the short, despite the fact that it was able to break above VWAP. But here's the thing, guys. Adara took profit.
Sorry.
Love it. It's intense today. It's intense. Now, here's the thing. Look at this area, general area resistance that we had in the morning. That 127.25, 127.50. We clear it. We clear it by some distance. We get into 128.50. Lo and behold, though, we come back and we're holding two different areas. Yes, that consolidation, not consolidation, that area top as well as the volume weighted average price. So I do like a possible entry here on NVDA. And what I like even better are the wicks are not breaching the volume weighted average price, at least for the moment. So if you're able to get in, you can put a stop to the south side of VWAP with some, confidence that it may not get triggered. However, you need to keep an eye on these lower lows and look for the making of newer highs here to get that trend confirmation reversal from down to up. So I'm keeping my eye here on NVIDIA. Could weasel my way into into the name, I'd say 127.25 general area. I could get it in here with a stop on the south side, risk about 20 pennies. Bless you, Jag, off that 127.50, like 127 mid 40s, and then put a stop maybe for the break of $0.25. So you risk about 20 pennies. I just don't want to get in if I'm still seeing lower highs, right? These lower highs are still all coming into play, even though the bottom is still holding. I'd rather get it, as Neil says, on the back end. Prove to me with a couple of green candles here that you're going to start retracing to the high side, and I'll definitely weasel my way in. NVDA, definitely not participating in the market strength that we've had on the day, but it is up like a zillion% year to date. So you got to put that into context. Meta, it did break down, but right back above. Again, Meta's a bamboozler. The thing about this one is we still have lower highs on this one. We still haven't broken the trend. So is this switching to a range trade now? What's happening here with Meta? The lower highs, that kind of descending wedge that we've had, looking for a flat bottom break through 529, not coming, because we're right back above 531 here on META. So good strength for this name. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole bunch. What are you guys looking at? Let me see what the chat is up to here. I haven't really been in the chat too much today. Burbs says NVIDIA. I just give you my idea there on NVIDIA. OT is asking if there's an issue with Thinkorswim. So anybody using TS, let OT know if you're having that same issues. Jeremy Newman saying cost trying to pop again. Not cost. Let's have a look over here, Ram at cost. And Adara still accurate in her assessment. It's still been a below the VWAP kind of trade, and this is what she was talking about there at 12 o'clock. It did come right into the volume weighted average price at 490. I believe the high of this candle is 1488 exactly. 1490, not 490. 1488 was the high, and we broke down, but it very much looks like a range. I got to tell you here, after being obviously a breakout trade, it is now looking like it's a $13 hold with maybe a 14.5 general area. We'll have to see if that ends up holding out. Let's see what else the chat is up to there. Rivian, Millionaire, ASTS. Let's look at Astis. I remember this one from a couple of days ago, Adara. I had a good time saying Astis. And here it is. It's a decent day again for Astis. Let's pull up it on the side chart here so we can get a great look. 6 2/3 right now is the move on the day. But look at this. This was interesting because it did nothing, very sideways from 9:30 until the breakout there at 11:20. Did anything come in on this name at 11:20? I'm looking and I don't see anything on my news blotter. So we don't really need a catalyst for this. We already had it from a few days ago. As you can see, the price action has been a little bit up, a little bit down. This looks like an inverse head and shoulders possibly over here on the 5-minute from that drop that we had, I believe that was Tuesday. There was a bad day Tuesday, recovered Wednesday, recovering today. 1235 high. We do have the high from the 1st, July 1st on Canada Day. We got into 1260. That was Monday. We didn't print anything higher than that, and it was a quick wick there at the IB high at 940. So we're not quite there yet, actually coming back down into the 10 exponential. I'd be interested, Rivian Millionaire, in something possibly off 12, 1195. Look at this area over here where we crested, dropped, held the 10, cleared it. If we come back down into this 12, 1195 area, I think it'll encounter the 20 exponential as well as this area crest. So I would be absolutely persuaded to weasel my way into a trade on Astis at $12.
Nice. Yeah, Astis. Yeah, it's a fun one to say.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Tesla. Less fun one here. I tried to take this short here off the 245.50s. We got below, held it. Would have worked for half a second. Didn't end up working out here. I should have been more cognizant of that. Tried to get out earlier. Was not able to get out. All good. Took a smaller position. Really pleased this punch though, because I was able, again, trying to focus less on P&L, more on the progress and the learning. So that's pretty good. But also Tesla, you want to make these lower highs here. You want to reject off the 90 MAs. You know, pardon?
Is that number 5? I think that's a
It's
record.
been a lot of pushbacks today.
That's a record.
I'm sure you're saying there's a new record for pushbacks, but I mean, hey, Tesla, you wanna do a record and have me short you again? It's not gonna. I've traded Tesla a lot. That's not the point. The point is Tesla making lower highs here with that 90 MA rejection. We're gonna get short 20s. We're gonna risk into 50s, and I want literally all of the smoke I can muster. I want that Cybertruck to fly to the downside.
Down.
I want that Roadster 0 to 100 real quick. Real quick. Shout out to Drake. But yeah, so right now we're basically flat on that position that I just got into here on T to the S to the L to the A, trying to have more of that confidence because it can be hard to have, but you really do need it for trading. You need to believe. Obviously, you know, and Sean was like, well, it's not just him, right? It's everything. But I think why I like calling it confidence is because Sean just embodies that ability to just get in and out of trades, feel good with what he's seeing. That's what I'm trying to do more of. Tesla, please stop bouncing off 246, asking for a friend or telling for a friend. I don't know. But we'll see how this goes. I still feel good about the short for now, but I'll feel better about the short if we break below 246, especially with that big old green candle. How are you doing?
Jeez. I'm keeping an eye on the match, and I wanted to remind everybody that there's 2 tournaments in the soccer world right now. There is the Euro, and there is the Copa America. And Canada, for the first time in its history, is in the knockout stages of Copa America. Tonight at 8 p.m., we will be taking on Venezuela. And I'm going to be cheering for Canada, man. I'm going to hit that one more time. I can't wait for Canada to advance. If they advance, guys, it's going to be to the semifinals. Look, I don't think they have the best team out there, but it's my country, and I'm damn proud of them. So I'm going to continue to cheer for Canada. So today, 8 p.m., Canada versus Venezuela. It's not just all about the Euros. Keep an eye on that. And obviously, yesterday was the first game of the quarterfinals. Argentina beating Ecuador in penalty kicks. And if you don't know the rules about soccer, typically after 90 minutes, if you're tied, you got to play another half an hour of 2 halves of 15 and then penalties. No, not in the Copa. The Copa, you go from regular time, 90 minutes, right into penalties. I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie. Ends the match a bit quicker. And Argentina ended up beating Ecuador yesterday 4-2 on penalties. But chapeau, hats off to Ecuador, man. They played the world champions, and they ended up doing pretty damn good. So chapeau to Ecuador, and they scored in the last minute, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm setting up a dip trade here at 12:01 on Astis. I will want the smoke at this level, but if it breaks down below 1190, we're not going to want any more there.
I have a question. What's the best soccer match you've ever watched? Like, do you have like one that like stands out to you that you're like, this was like crazy? Like,
oh, that's a tough question.
I don't
gotta
know.
actually
Sorry,
think
I kind of
about
put you on the spot there, but I'm curious.
I don't.
You know,
I
I
don't
like
know.
asking random questions. One of my favorite things.
Asking for a friend. No. Well, look, that was a good one because, okay, Ram said Saudi Arabia versus Argentina. I'm not going to say that's the best one ever, but it was definitely one of the most like ones ever because nobody I don't want to say nobody, but very few people expect that result. All right, I'm long Astis now at 12, so now we're going to have to put in the stop below that 1190 area. I will give it about 10 pennies here. It's going to have to hold this level. Otherwise, we don't want any smoke. So the stop's in place, and we're going to have to see if this one can weasel its way back up. It's got a high of 1235. It's going to have to hold this general area over here. The level I really liked was 1195, but, you know, that $12 level could come in and prevent it from dipping a little bit. So I did want to get in at 12. We'll see what comes from this area. I like what people are saying in the chat over here. 2 New York cents. It's a better team than USA or Mexico, but let's go Argentina. One more for Messi, and that goalie is legit. He's talking about Emiliano Martinez, a former Arsenal player. One of the biggest mistakes Arsenal has ever done was selling that guy to a rival in Aston Villa, What are you doing selling him in the country? He's got to leave the country. You don't sell him within the country.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Usually that's a thing with Premier League teams. They don't like to sell to each other because they don't want to face each other and have their secrets.
I know loans as well. I know about loans.
Yeah,
Isn't that a thing as well in the Premier when you loan people?
That's very unique to soccer. They don't do that in North American sports. Well, they do it in MLS, but they don't do it in other North American sports, typically North American sports. But yeah, so that was a hell of a game there. Let's see what else. Argentina goal is a legend, says James Dell. Yeah, he's interesting, I'll tell you that. He got in some trouble there from FIFA. We all know why. Gestures. Yeah.
I can guess.
Lots of gestures. Jude Bellingham in trouble for that as well. He just got suspended. He's not going to actually have a suspended game, but his suspension was suspended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Double negative.
Yeah, and the other guy from Turkey, he's going to serve a 2-game ban, so a lot being made about that, how one guy actually has to serve the suspension, the other guy doesn't. That's neither here nor there. What's your look?
Yeah, also, just because this is probably the only time we were talking about like Major League Soccer. So you know how like there's the Canadian Soccer League? So one time I was on a flight and the entire Hamilton soccer team, which is a place in Ontario, was like all sitting near me. I was in between two of them and it was a really weird experience. They were passing like, sour cherry blasters over my head and I didn't know what they were and then I looked it up and they were the Hamilton soccer team.
You're kidding.
Shout out to those people. I think their name is Forge. But anyways, there was a couple of years ago. I don't know if that's the same team, but NVIDIA, I'm taking a VWAP short. Why am I taking this VWAP short? You may ask. Could it bounce off VWAP? It certainly could. Adara, what are you doing? I'll tell you. Well, I liked that we had this was the same level I think you liked earlier as a short as well, that 127.20s. Yeah. Right? Because that was a huge, like, look at this this was such an area of resistance. I know we're at VWAP, and I know resistance and support can flip. I'm very cognizant of those levels. I think I could have gotten a better price in it as well. But I do like these failed wicks here. I like that we're below the 90 EMA. I think if this breaks down, it can do so quickly and furiously and with a viciousness. And as I say that, it pops up. So, like, NVIDIA, way to make me look great. Thanks, bro. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I took this with a little bit more size, which maybe was not the vibe. Not like a massive position or anything. It's very doable. But yeah, I just want to wait and see what we do here. I'll add if we reject these 40s, but I want to be cognizant. Tesla, though, I was really proud of this. Took some more scalps here off that 246 rejections. Added, subtracted. Nice. We broke down. I got out. But let's see what we do with 245.50s. Tesla, I have no qualms about trading you again. I really should have been more involved in you than your Mag 7 cousin, NVDA. We're going to get that last lesson started post-haste. I'm just going to let NVIDIA do its thing. But also, you know what you guys can do? Your thing, 21. Oh, you...
That was quick,
Yeah, Sharif was fast with the button there.
Quick.
Go in that chat right now. Exclamation point join. Shift 1. Space. $, shift 4. Whatever ticker you like. Microsoft, Amazon, Astrosystems, Meta. Maybe you want to hear about Sharif's awesome meta trade. I know I do. Hey. Get involved in there. Costs. Tesla. AMD, Amazon, SPY. Maybe you want to hear the Amazonians take on Amazon. Whatever you guys want. I mean, I think that'd be great to hear. Get involved in there. Get in that chat. Type those things and see what happens next. Please, guys, do vote. We love having an audience participation segment. We're just talking about the election cycle with Michael Noss this morning. And this is the election cycle on Trader TV. Is every single day. It's a really expedited process.
It certainly is.
Yeah, so there you go. Also, always remember to be confident. Again, no one should have given me this button. Really, I am a menace with this button. NVIDIA seems to be using my level as a short entry, as an area of support. So we might have to leave the short if it shows a support. But yeah, right now we're just kind of, fiddling around here. Diddling in the middle, as is sometimes said. No reason to leave. But I really want to hear about the poetry that you're making over in this.
Remember we said we put in an alert. I know you set up for a pun. I know you're proud of yourself there. But I put in an alert on my platform for Poet because if it came in to the volume weighted average price, I want to know about it. I'm long at VWAP on POET. It's up 20%. However, the volume is really starting to drop off. So I'm going to look to scalp this. It's not going to be a hold, a hold and pray. We're long at 53s. I'm looking to wet my beak at 60s. There is a bit of a resistance level there at 60s. So I may want to move that down into 59s. We're in the money on one, and we're out of the money on another. We're out of the money by 5 pennies on ASTS, ASTS. But if this breaks down below 90s, that's it. Now we're break even on it as it weasels its way back into 12. So a couple of trades on right now, both small cap gappers. And I love my small cap gappers. I also love the Mag 7, but I love my small cap gappers. No question about that. So looking to wet my beak on some profits on ASTS at 12.10 if we get it. Also looking, there it is on Poet. Nice. Literally got that super quick on POET, dips into VWAP, right back into 360 it goes, and we wet our beak there. So good trade on POE. Use your alerts, guys, because sometimes, you know, you can't have eyes on everything, right? Well, maybe you can, but I can't. So now that we're holding a little bit here and we've de-risked, I want to hold a little bit more on Poet. Let's see if we can weasel our way out at 69s, because what's life without whimsy? We're going to put a next beak wetter at 69s. It's 9 pennies from, or 8 pennies now, because we're printing 61s on the ask. And they're 61.5 on the ask. Okay, mid-print, I see you. Decent look there on Poet. Astis, though, lulling me to sleep, and there is definitely a seller on the other side of 12. We keep topping tail. All right, now we're overwhelming the seller. Here comes 7s. I'm waiting at 10s on Astis. Let's see if we can hold this general area support and wet our beak on some profits. I'd be pleased to punch it here.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy with my NVIDIA short. I'm really proud of this. I got out half at 127s. Then I said I want a piece of the dream. I ended up getting 30 pennies, 126.92s, and I'm really happy. I get that 92 print. We pop up above 127. We have not been below 127 again since then. This is the type of trading I need to be doing more.
Bang.
I need to feel like I'm on the edge of my seat. I need to feel like there could be a pushback or a weird gasp.
Multiple pushbacks.
Any moment. You're right, multiple pushbacks. I want trades. I was saying this to Shreve on camera. I want trades that make me do that sound I did in that Tesla short. That's what I need to be looking for. Thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, I hope the poetry goes well. I hope you become a regular Maya Angelou in that poet trade. Yeah, I'll stop now. But you know what we won't stop is learning. We also won't stop believing. Hold on.
1-0, España, 1-0, and it is, who's this guy? Sorry to interrupt you, Adera. It is 1-0 Spain now, I believe in the 52nd minute or so. Can't show you, obviously, for copyright reasons, but Spain ahead of Germany, 1-0 to start the second half, and it was that Olmo guy, O-L-M-O. Don't know how to say his name. Not really sure how to. Olmo, yeah, Olmo. A guy, he plays in La Liga. I don't know too much about him. Sorry to interrupt you.
I like their kits in Germany. I like the German team's kits. I'm using the proper Spanish terminology, or not Spanish, the soccer terminology, but I do like the German team's kits.
Yeah, they always wear like that white, and they wear white, and then they have their flags colors on it. Right?
I like this. Yeah, that's what I like. I like the sleeves, the colors of the sleeves. But yeah, that's not important. Right now, we're going to be talking about. I mean, it is, but it's not for the lesson.
Got it.
Let's talk about the lesson. Today's lesson is going to be talking about combining MACD signals with the support and resistance for more confident trading decisions. Because we know what MACD is on its own, right? We've talked about the MACD crossovers and divergences and how they can be helpful for identifying potential entry and exit points, but sometimes the signals get a little bit fuzzy. They can get a little bit hazy. The signals can get their wires crossed. So how do we find more confluence, more ways to get involved in the trade? Let's talk about support and resistance. These are really key concepts in technical analysis. Support will represent a price level where the buying pressure tends to be a little bit stronger and potentially halting or reversing a downtrend. Then, conversely, resistance is going to be representing a price level where the selling pressure tends to be a bit stronger, which can potentially halt or reverse an uptrend. If you have support and resistance, clear defined support and resistance in either direction, sometimes you can get a good old range. It just ping-pongs between these levels all day. So there are lots of different ways to read this. Here's one example of technical support in the chart, right? Notice we're at like 51, what is this, 51.40s. Every time we get there, the price bounces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounces here, then we push higher. I would also argue there's a bit of resistance here around 54.50. So here's a good example of support and resistance happening on a chart in the real world. Let's talk as well about technical resistance, because this is pretty clear resistance here. We get to this 39 level, shoop, down. We get it again, shoop. Then, this is what's really cool. We have this gap down here on this Amazon chart back in 2006. Then we pop up beautifully, but the move stops again at 36 or 39. Not 36. The point I'm trying to make is that this is a really cool example of resistance and how it can replicate itself over a strong period of time. But let's talk about, also someone's soup smells amazing. I don't know who has this. Shout out to whoever soup that is. Does anyone else smell this chicken noodle soup? Am I losing my mind? No, there is soup. Okay. Shout out to that soup. Oh my gosh, that took me somewhere else there. Let's talk about the power of combining support and resistance with MACD. Imagine the MACD is indicating a bullish crossover, suggesting a potential price increase. But then what happens when the price is hovering right at a resistance level? The selling pressure at that level can dampen the upside move. So how do you use MACD with support and resistance? we're going to talk about how you combine these signals. Also, oh my gosh, my sense of smell is usually not this good, and I'm smelling so much food right now, and I am like,
Is that Jag? Oh.
I am like on a sensory overload over here with these smells. So bullish, pardon? Okay, so it's just me, cool. So bullish confirmation, like for example, if you have a bullish MACD crossover near a support level, that can strengthen the potential for a price bounce. The support level can add a little bit of confidence or confidence. The price increase might have some more momentum to it. But then we're going to talk about the bearish crossover. So bearish MACD crossover near a resistance level can strengthen the potential for a price decline, and the resistance level can add some more confidence that the downtrend might continue. So here's an example of bullish confirmation. We have our crossover as we're kind of near the support level, and the crossover says, hey, this range might continue. To be clear, it's kind of, we're still in a downtrend, but it does show there's a little bit more potential for upside. Here's our bearish confirmation, though. Look, we get that rejection, not once, but twice. We don't get it over thrice that we see. But we get it twice, and then we have, oh my gosh, all these smells. We're pushing, I don't know what's going on. Then we have that crossover, and we push lower. So let's take a look at the chart, though. So imagine you've got a stock nearing a support level and the MACD shows a bullish crossover. This combination can suggest a potential buying opportunity with the support level potentially acting as a launch pad for a price increase. Fakeouts are also, sorry, that's the wrong slide. Remember as well, though, nothing is ever risk-free. You always have to take the good and the bad, the highs, the lows, the ups and downs, shout out to Chance the Rapper, and you want to see what everything is together. So false signals are worth noting. You can get these anywhere, but especially, of course, common when you're doing price analysis and technical analysis. There's never any guarantee that the price will respect the signal. You always want to practice good risk management. And fakeouts are also worth noting here because the price can briefly break through support and resistance and then reverse. So be cautious of chasing these breakouts. Beyond the basics as well, worth noting here as well, you want to look at the strength of the levels. As Sharif said to me when I first started, this is huge. The more you see a support resistance level hold, A, the more confluence and the more strength that level has, and B, when that breaks, it's going to be a big old deal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a big old deal. We saw a real life example, Tesla 247 on Tuesday. When that broke,
bang.
That was wild. That was craziness. So you want to be aware of those levels. Also multiple time frames too, because let's say you see that support resistance coming on, you know, as we said, fractal, right? Oh. So Sharif always says fractal. If you see support and resistance on a daily chart versus, you know, an hourly, and it's the same levels. So that's
absolutely.
You really want that. You want, how much of that smoke do you want?
All of it.
All of it. Think a whole big bag of smoke. You don't sell smoke by the bag. But anyways, yes, you want to analyze MACD with support and resistance on different time frames to get a broader view of the trend. And always make sure, you can use this combination of support and resistance with MACD to add another layer of confirmation to your trading decisions. And by understanding how these tools work together, you can improve your ability to identify potential entry and exit points, but always practice with a paper trading account. And also, make sure to consider other technical indicators alongside these indicators for a more comprehensive trading strategy. Also, there was a comment that I saw, Chris C saying I'm more invested in the soup now. I mean, honestly, I don't blame you. This is taking me on an emotional roller coaster. But also, Microsoft, we've got Gaurav Sadchev saying here, Microsoft breaking all-time highs, great pattern it was to play along. Wow! Speaking of support and resistance, look at this.
Insane.
You get long 466.
Boom.
Shout out to you, Gaurav.
It's going.
Hope you print. How are you doing over here?
It's great. I just want to show them I want to show everybody IVP. And this is what I mean by these kind of small cap gappers that show up all of a sudden on your scanner. They're around for a good time, typically not a long time. There are always exceptions to the rules, but this is what I mean when I say you really need to manage risk. Imagine punching in, you know, several thousand shares at these levels. You know, you may have trouble getting out too. And so 214 HOD. But as you can see, it's a Christmas tree retracement all the way back down, trying to hold that $150 area support that we had in the pre as well as before the breakout. So volume obviously dropping off. So keep your eye on IVP if this is kind of your thing. But yeah, a bit of a tougher look. I'm still in this poet. We're printing 59s. I'm kind of lofty in my ambitions here, which is fine. 69s is what I'm waiting for. We got long at 53, so we'll pack our patience there. The one that's really lulling me to sleep a little bit worse, and I'm starting to suspect that there may be a seller in the mid 12 single digits. I'm talking maybe 1207, 1206, something like that, is ASTS. Like I've been looking to wet my beak at 10s. I'm not asking for too much here. I'm long 1201s, but it seems to find a wall of selling in and around 1205, 1206. So we'll pack our patience with this one. The stop is already in place. If it breaks down below 1190, that's as good as it's going to get for me because we're going to get out. We got into this trade for a VWAP dip as well as this 1195 area, hold 1195.12. It's a general area. It's not an exact level. Area of previous resistance, looking for it to act as support. Right now, you're not getting that big move to the upside, so we're going to have to pack our patience. And that's really all I'm going to do about that. Keeping an eye on those two names. But the Mag 7, really, it's been all the rave today. Lots of names printing all-time high, new all-time highs. Meta, Microsoft. I don't think Amazon printed all-time highs, but Apple did. Goggles did as well. So 4 out of the 7 names, ATH, baby. And that ain't a band. That's an actual acronym for all-time highs. It's been a great look today for these names. The Fuge, no exception as well. And I didn't really talk about the Fuge, but 20,600 got breached, and we're at it again right now. A little bit above, a little bit below. You know, if I had to take a guess, I think we hold above it on the day. So strong have we been. We could still mean revert, but we haven't so far. And we've been in the illiquid time of day for about a couple hours now. So, you know, if we were going to sell off on lack of liquidity, it would have been already, who knows. We'll keep watching. Right above 20,600 we go again. So the strength in the Mag 7 names at least not done for the moment. You know, you haven't breached the all-time high that we put in on AAPL on the day, 225.44 yet, but you're not far away from it. So you could get that breach in the same way that Microsoft just got that breach of that 467 top and printed 50 cents above that. So lots of stuff to keep an eye on, including these small cap gappers. What are you guys looking at, though? Gaurav told me about the Microsoft breaking all-time highs. Great pattern. It was to play along. He says more in agreement I could not be, with, especially with this long kind of bull flag-ish looking to break up above the highs, and most notably you had holds off respected moving averages. I'm talking about the 10 and the 20, all of which held up on retracement. So that's a fantastic look on both these names. Let's flip back to some of the small cap gappers that have got on at the minute. Right back into, well, not break even, 1 penny above my entry we go here on POET, lulling me to sleep. Back into Astis, $12. Again, we're break even on this one. There's definitely something afoot at 12.05, 12.06. I'm going to pack my patience, though, because we could easily breach that. But that's not the important thing. Now the important thing is somebody's got cost short.
I'm cost long, actually.
Oh, my bad.
I made that face because I don't know how I feel about the position, not because I don't feel, not because I'm like, oh, sure, no, but thank you.
I looked at it too quick. I should have been more thorough.
It's okay. I don't know. I should have also maybe been more thorough. I do not like the spread on costs. I do not like the spread.
What is that?
It's like 12 pennies. I mean, I know I've done worse because Miss
yeah.
Miss Lily, Mademoiselle. Oof. But basically, okay. I got costs long. We had these bottoming tail candles. I was like, oh, we're in a range. And then cost was like, oh yeah. The second I get involved, cost is like, okay, I'm gonna fall a little bit. I was like, cost, who told you to do that? And why are you doing that? And can you not do that? I want to see what we do here at 1350s. We're basically there. So thanks, cost. This is a smaller position because I was like, you know, if I make a mistake, I don't really want it to cost me too much here. So this is really bamboozling because we're below my area of interest on the one side and then we're above on the other. So I'm like, cost, what is going on and can it stop? So yeah, I think we're gonna have to get out of this. It's just I am clearly not mentally prepared for cost. It's okay. It's not gonna be a big old thing. I just need to. I don't think I was mentally ready for the cost of that trade. But it's all good. I think I might have been rushing into stuff. Of course, the second I get out, then it goes back to what I wanted it to do, question mark. So we did lose a little bit on that trade, but again, we're always bullish positivity, always bullish new opportunities, and trying to find new things. I should have taken that cost short when I first saw it at VWAP. It's all good there. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens on these trades. All
right, we just got into 69s here on Poet, but the spread is too wide, so we didn't cross above 69. That's why I didn't get triggered on my L, but it did weasel its way up into 69. That's the top wick right now. The bid is at 62. The ask is at 65, and that's not what I want to see, certainly on a $3 name. But there's nothing I can do at this point because to flatten out here would just be useless. So no, I'm not. I'm going to hold it, and if I get stopped out, I get stopped out through the break of 50. So I'd like to get a print at 69. We're long at 53, but that's not really up to me. Keeping an eye on both these, ASTS and Poet. I am a little bit more hopeful, bullish, question mark, I don't know, on Astis as a result of these higher lows. It looks like it's accumulating possibly for a 1205, 1206 breach. I mean, the higher lows are indicative of buyer exuberance. Every time the price dips, they buy it up at a little bit higher of a price. That's essentially what we're seeing on the chart manifested there with the higher lows. So I'm waiting at 1210s. I don't think it's a ridiculous price to want to aim for. So I'm keeping an eye on both those names. Here we go, 1205 again. Now I want to watch the book here to see where the size shows up. So there's no size right now. So right away, I'm looking at the book, and I know that if we're going to be held down, it's going to be by an iceberg. Go, Astis. Let's go. 1207 prints there. We breach that 1205, 1206 on not a closing basis, but we did breach it there. I'm still seeing no size on the book. OH showing 30 some odd lots, maybe about 40 if you add all the gateways together. I'm waiting at 10s. It's going to have to weasel its way up there for me to get triggered on the out. I still haven't wet my beak on anything on this. So we're holding the full position on Astis. Here's 8s, 9s, 10s. Still no big size that I'd say, you know, I probably should get out in front of this one. 08's showing about 50, maybe a bit more lots, maybe about 60 lots or so on the book. That's not obviously the iceberg. So keeping an eye on that, but it's still not printing me, so I'm just going to pack my patience. Back to Astis again in the mid-60s, or sorry, Poet in the mid-60s, but not printing me at 69s. And again, my concern with Poet is the spread. I'm not pleased with what I'm seeing there on the spread. Guys, there's a lot of stuff happening here. I'm seeing you guys talk about ARM. ARM has been a rinse and repeat trade off VWAP. Can't believe didn't have eyes on this. But let me load up the game. Oh my God. Germany almost scored. All right, let me show you what I'm looking at on ARM. I saw this earlier. I didn't take it. This is the 5 minute on ARM. It has been a rinse and repeat dip trade off the volume weighted average price on this name, and it even looks better on the 1 minute. So we'll flip to the 1 minute over here. Look at this. Look at umpteen amount of bounces, and you didn't have to give it too much room, like where VWAP was hanging versus where it dipped into. It was a respectable range given what you got out of the bounce. So the risk reward was totally in play. The last time you got that near VWAP dip was around 1250 or 10 to 12. It did a bit of a doji bottoming tail candle, and then up to the right it goes. So fantastic look for whoever weaseled their way into ARM. 6 1/5 was up way more, obviously, at that 181.88 HOD that we printed. Now we're printing 178.75. So it was up well more than that. And by the way, did you hear about SoftBank? All-time highs. Can you imagine why? Look at ARM. They own 90% of it.
That's, yeah,
10%. And you've seen what ARM has done lately since the IPO. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been like stretching. Yeah, stretching those
It's been flexing, baby.
To the upside, flexing on the haters.
Right?
Flexing on the shorts is what it's more like.
It's been flexing on the shorts because of
obliterating.
Yeah,
shorts.
It has such a tiny float, but ARM absolutely huge. By the way, the what's it called? The Nikkei printed all-time high, not all-time, but like 30 or 40-year highs again. Really? With yeah, man, the Nikkei is going. Japanese market's very strong right now. Kind of the opposite to the yen. The yen's getting weak. Market's getting strong. Keep an eye on that. All right, back to Poet over here. We printed 67s again, and I didn't get filled. I'm really trying to be patient, but this thing is annoying. Bang on Astis. There we go. We get the fill at 12.11. Still holding a beak wetter. Let's see if we can get up at 12 1/3. Oh, D. Westermeyer. Hi, Sharif and Adara. Have Neil check his email, please. Miss you guys, but having an epic road trip with the family. Over 2,000 miles so far and 4 states. Shout out to the OG, D. Westermeyer, baby. We loved having you around. We miss you. We hope you're doing well. And I will tell Neil to check said email. No problem.
Tell email right now. No, I'm joking.
He's already
Yeah,
on.
thank you so much. I said email and not Neil because wow, my brain.
Walmart's at all-time highs.
Walmart's
apparently.
at all-time highs.
Everybody's
Okay, I
saying
will
that.
take a look at that once I get out of this.
Kill it.
Here's Cybertruck. It's not a good kill it, but yes, basically Tesla. I need to stop doing this. I have a good trade, and then I follow it up with a trade that is of questionable quality. Basically, I stand by the impetus for the Tesla short. We were breaking lower. We were trying to break below that 246.70. 246.70 was a really nice area for shorts earlier. So I thought, oh, that could have repeated itself. Didn't end up working out. I had really small position. It was fine. But I really want to talk about this long because I'm super proud of this long. Got long right below 246s. Why? Look at the bottoming tail candle. And look at our little... There's words. 90 MA bounce. So I wanted to get that bounce. I was able to get like 90 pennies with a bit of the position, and then I got most of it out here for about 30 pennies. But yeah, please just punch there. Shout out to D. Westermeyer there. Good times. I'll show this photo.
I was supposed to ask him.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, I think he's probably good with that.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you. On this trip, this was the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I'm not going to show because I didn't think about that. But yeah, thank you very much to Mr. Westermeyer for that, sending a couple photos through. Thank you, Neil, for sharing those photos. And now Tesla works at the level I wanted to short it. But yeah, it's all good. They're not going to force this unless I have a little bit more confluence on that short. I definitely hopped in a little bit. I need to work on this. I'll have a good trade, and then I'll follow it up with a question mark trade. So just try not to take those, living life, learning, laughing, loving, and probably sipping some caffeine. But before I do that, I want to talk about Apple. We had Grav here saying, I believe it's Grav in the chat, saying Apple looks like it's flat top breaking. I don't disagree with you.
No.
Higher low. Higher low. Someone earlier in the chat was saying we should think about retiring the name the dead one. At this point, we call Apple the dead one, ironically. It hasn't been dead for quite some time. Oh, we're all good. Okay, thank you, Mr. Westermeyer there. Here we go.
That's a hell of a picture.
Is this the Grand Canyon?
Can you shift or hold control? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Wow.
Is this the Grand Canyon?
I think so.
That's a nice look here.
Unreal.
I wasn't even allowed to go near the Grand Canyon when I went, but it's a great look here. Shout out to D. Westermeyer, no fear, hanging out, having a grand old time there on the Grand Canyon. I would be having a panic attack if I was on that.
Can I tell you, I wouldn't have a panic attack there. I get nervous on buildings, but I don't get nervous on cliffs. I don't know why. I don't get nervous on airplanes either. I don't get nervous on cliffs. I get nervous on building balconies. I don't know why.
That's odd. Look at building balcony. You think someone would be able to see if there's something going awry around a public building?
I'd rather not say live on the show why my fear of buildings.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to like interrogate you.
No, you're good because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I respect that. But yeah,
no, because I'm like, this is like, well, that's scary.
There's another one too. Shout out to D. Westermeyer there, man.
He's watching the show on the cliff. That's amazing.
Oh no, he's got the the one. He is and Randy's there too. Ram, look at this. Randy's in the background there. Let's zoom in on Randy. Ram, go in full screen.
He doesn't want.
Ram's got an attitude today, eh? Okay, Ram. And she just doxed me too. Oh, girl. D. Westermeyer, shout. You should show the one where I'm watching the show on the edge that we just did. So a little bit delayed there. Shout out to D. Westermeyer. Okay, so back to trading here. I'm waiting at 12.25 for my next beak wetter on Astis. I want to front run the high a day, which is at 12.35. So if we continue putting in these higher lows, I want the smoke. I want everything the smoke has to offer there. We'll see what we get, and we won't get upset. The other one that I'm still waiting on is one that we already de-risked on, but is bothering me. I was about to use a different descriptive term there, but the reason it's bothering me is because it got into my area but didn't cross. I always hate that when you have the right idea, but the spread always, gets you a little bit in trouble there. So those are the ones that I'm watching, but that doesn't really matter. I think we're getting away from the small cap gappers and back into the MACD because the future just is unabated to all-time highs. 20,622 and a quarter, and that has everything pumping here except Tesla and Nvidia. Apple, new all-time highs right now by 2 whole pennies, 225.46. It was 44s before. Definitely having trouble with that $0.50. I wonder, I think it was Gorev, if we do get that flat top break. We've been getting all the signs. We got the bull flag, we got the higher lows, we got the flat top. It's got everything it needs. Now it just has to do it. We'll wait and see if it does it on the day. It's not really like one of these like break up, break down stocks. Apple, it, incrementally makes its way up there. It's no Nvidia, that's for sure. I'll tell you that. So AAPL, great look. But Microsoft, wow, 468.20. Man, I remember when this was $225 like a couple of years ago, not even, and we're all thinking like it was gonna hit 100 something. I remember there was a trade, I think, on the floor when it hit 250.
Really?
Yeah, there was a trade above 250.
Wild.
Everybody was talking about taking the breakout trade. Goggles, another all-time high. Here we go, 190 and 2/3. This one looks like it's 191 bound, 2.5% in the green now for goggles, and it's been anything you want off the 20 exponential on the 5. There has been no closing print south of the 20 exponential on the 5 on goggles, and it's printing high day as we speak. The strength in the future is the strength in the Mag 7. Just participate in it, guys. I know everybody talks about breadth and this and that, and just participate. What's your look?
Ugh, I shouldn't have participated there. Blech. I had a long. I loved my long Tesla, 246.70. Why was that my level in Tesla? Because I was resistance earlier. It was like, great long. Blah, blah, blah. But then it broke lower. I said to Dara, you can't really break above the 80s. You're seeing lower highs. It could still be a short here. Flipped to the short, and I flipped out because I had to leave. So the long was the right idea. Grr, says I. Definitely doing better than I was earlier today, though I did, unfortunately, lose some of those gains I made back just on some of these more recent trades. Really proud of the best of these trades, but it's really just about like balancing out where are the questionable ideas. To be clear, I don't necessarily regret leaving the long because we were breaking below that 50s area. The timing on this is so upsetting. And I said, I thought it could have been a short. It looked like it was a short. It's fine. I'm not going to continue to belabor the point there, but that is disappointing. I'd be 70 pennies in the money had that long worked out. I'm not.
I know.
But I could have
It
been.
doesn't
Hey, I
matter.
appreciate that. Sometimes it's about like the idea for the trade, right? The impetus for the trade. And Tesla, hey, you want to continue to bounce here with VWAP? I'll take you long. I'll take you whatever direction. This is what I mean, though. I feel like my read on the longs is infinitely worse than it is on shorts. And that's why, as much as I say short biased, I think it's less short biased and more just like short able. Thank you to Kyle Burdett for the member chat there. Member for 8 months. Shout out to the SPY. Going $10 in 3 days on falling volume in a half trading day. Stonks. Keller, me confused. Yeah, me too, Kyle Burdett. Tesla just took me for a doozy. Let's take a look at that SPY.
Remember we said that? We anticipated lower trading volumes, depressed ranges, and it hasn't been like that way at all.
Yeah, the ranges are not depressed, Sharif. The ranges are so
Germany
happy.
hit the post.
Oh.
Germany hit the post. Yeah.
Germany hit the post. Wow, this SPY here. Look at these bounces here off that 550, 150, pushing higher here. Then we get a little bit lower. We bounce, resistance to support, flippity flop here at 553.20. Then we push even higher. What a great look here for the SPY. Fly me to the moon, says Adrian. I think that's what the SPY is singing right now. Fly me to the moon. Great look for the SPY. Also costs. I will short you here. The long actually wouldn't have worked out, so I apologize for having a little fit over cost on that long. It wasn't a fit, I was just annoyed. But cost, if your spread is more, if I see a poetic spread on you, I may take you short. But I say that to transition to your trade. How is Poet going?
Oh, it's decent. It's decent. Yeah, it's 10 pennies on the money, but it's not. Sorry, guys. I was concentrating on the game, and then I was not ready for your question.
Oh, I apologize.
That's why I was like, it's not your fault. No, I've been waiting at 69s. I mean, it's lulling me to sleep. I'm long 53s. We already know where I'm long, but it's not giving me the print. This one is doing a little bit better, though. Astis just weaseled its way up to 16. It does have these retracement moments, but what's keeping me excited about this trade is the consecutively higher lows and higher highs. A bit of an upward channel after that 12 1/3 rejection. Here we go down again, 12.05. Everyone's yelling about NEO, Ram. Then we're not going to look at it. No, I'm kidding. We have to look at NEO. Obviously, let's look quickly over here. Obviously, what am I looking at? What am I looking at?
No, Ramin.
It's one guy. Tobbs T.
It's the same person, right?
Ram. No, NEO, obviously, it's a bit of a tougher look today for NEO, guys, but we're on it, so I want to talk about it. The European Union, obviously, looking to place tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. It's not just Chinese branded. It is including Tesla as well as any European, North American vehicles manufactured in China will be subject to a tariff from 17.5% to 37.5%. There will be exemptions. So Tesla, for example, can apply for exemptions. When you do apply for those exemptions, you're going to have to show that you weren't subject to any of those unfair advantages. I'm talking about subsidies from the government as well as other things. If you qualify, they will remove tariffs on your car. We've heard NEO, we've heard Xpeng say the opposite. Actually, Xpeng saying they're not going to raise prices in response to tariffs. NEO saying, no, in order to maintain margins, they're going to have to pop up prices. So that's going to obviously hurt their competitive edge with respect to some of the European counterparts, as well as some North American vehicles that are also made in Europe. So this is very interesting, right? I mean, you have China complaining to the WTO, saying that this is bogus, that this is not following the rules under the World Trade Organization. You've got America and Europe saying, you know, basically bite the big one, that we have to protect our companies. And so this is going to be a bit of a yin and yang, and we're going to have to see who comes or how they maneuver out of this. But definitely nothing really happening on NEO on the day, but yeah, that's kind of what the look is there. So keep your eye out on that play. Obviously, it stands to benefit some European manufacturers as well as some North American ones if they fall through. Simultaneously, I should probably tell you that the U.S., the Biden administration, not just the U.S., the Biden administration looking at putting 100% tariffs on EVs and solar panels coming from China. They don't want China dumping their products on the American market. Dumping is an economic term. Go Google what that is. It's not, you know, just dumping. It's legitimately a term. So that is the look right now, and we're gonna have to see how this all pans out. But that's why NEO, Xpeng, and BYD, and Zeekr, and Lee, and everything was getting shellacked this morning.
Yeah, that's wild. That's something that's really... Yeah, we were talking about this interesting too. Apparently, China's thinking about retaliating, being like, "Hey,
yes,
pork and cognac."
Can you blame them?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Well, I mean, they want to protect their industry too. I mean,
like,
I'm North American, obviously.
We're gonna get involved. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Also, Ramin saying she got bamboozled by Tops. Shout out to Ramin. Shout out to our production team always. But also, Ramin was for nicer.
What is happening over here?
Ramin goes in the chat saying Renice or Ramin with a confused
face.
Renice
or Ramin.
Wins awards for that pun. Also the emoji she used. I gotta give snaps to Ramin. We have a great production team here. Shout out to Ramin and Fabian. Ramin making us laugh. If she wants to be more entertaining, she'll let us know. She'll be like, guys, I'm bored. Step it up. Like. I'm so happy to be here. This is a great team, great community.
You want to talk about those trades while I use the bathroom?
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, I can keep talking. We just added to this Tesla here. I definitely will admit I got a bit chasey with that first ad. Not proud of that. A little bit too Chevy Chase there with that ad. But basically, I want to see us bounce off. Okay, Tesla. I want to see us bounce off 246.70s. That was the real area. I definitely should have waited here. We pushed a little bit higher. I was a little bit intrigued. Yada, yada. I like this look. I'm just trying to make sure I'm good for a risk, but I am there. So we're all good there. Basically, I think we're continuing to push higher in Tesla. Like I said, that 246.70, that was an area earlier for some shorts. And then I tried to go long, got it too early. That didn't go well, flipped short. But so anyways, the timing on this has not always been great. If we keep rejecting 247s, that's not going to be a vibe. But I am happy I am in this short. Again, the first entry, wish I had a better price in it. Happy with the average. The adding at 247 was a planned ad because that was the area I was interested initially in. But we're going to start getting out here. Let's do 45s. I'm trying to find, yeah, there we go. Come on, Tesla. Give us things. There we go. In that Cybertruck. Also costs. I am, you know, a cool flat on this position right now, but I'm happy with this short. I think the spread might get me a little bit on this because I don't know if we're going to be able to get the area I want here in the spread, which is the bottom of this range. That, you know, I'm going to change this to 40s because I don't think I'm going to get what I want given the spread on this, but I'm going to only be taking half out. I like these lower highs. I like that we're below the 90 MA. I'm risking into these 75s here, so I'm pleased as punch with how that's going. Tesla, what say you? Ooh! Tesla say I almost, okay, Tesla. I like this. I am pleased as punch. Come on, Tesla. Give me that smoke. Not trying to rush you, Tesla, but if you want to get to 247, 45s, I would be pleased as punch there. This Tesla 247 has been a really fun area to play around. I know OB, I think, was involved in this one earlier around that 247 level. Yes. Okay. Tesla. Okay, so we got 40% of the position out. I have 60% of the position left. This is a larger position for me, but man, do I feel comfortable with this. And I will continue to add if we keep bouncing off 247. Okay, Tesla, let's go. Okay, got a little excited there. Apologies. But let's see. We're going to get some more out here at 70. Oh, Tesla, you want to pop higher? Nah, I'll get the whole thing out here.
Get it, Adara.
And then, yes, okay. We got 80 pennies there. with that position.
That's really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I was up, down, all around with Tesla today. My P&L and me mentally also, as I get excited about Tesla. Costs. Pardon?
No, he's talking to Wayne.
Oh, sorry, I could not hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, so I'm getting out of this cost here because as I got excited about Tesla, cost went against me, and then it won't even let me get all the way out. So thanks, cost. Okay, we're gonna have to deal with that cost there. Getting excited about Tesla cost me a little bit on that.
Oh.
Yes, even when I'm down, I can still make puns. But yeah, there we go. That was unfortunate. Definitely, I think that long ended up being the right call on cost. So cost actually, ironically, my worst name of the day. Not even Tesla. But it's all good. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing and keep trading and see NVIDIA getting kind of rangy. So that might be the next move. Thank you guys for the support. I love this. This is such a fun chat and such a fun community. Come on, Tesla. Let's Nextla.
All right, I want to mention BENF. Thank you, Monty G, for pointing that out. One that we pointed out earlier, it did break down below VWAP, just did the reclaim of the volume weighted average price, at least so on my chart, but having trouble with that $5 area. So the whole dollar area now acting as that resistance. It's up 130% on the day. So who could want to argue with this one? But, you know, I'm keeping clear of this one because it has to clear VWAP for me to get in. I'm not going to take it on a quick wick or a couple of cent break, especially with $5 acting as a resistance level. ASTS back into 1210. If this doesn't make a new high above 1215, I'm going to cut it. And POET definitely lulling me to sleep, gave me that bump into 67s, didn't take it, and now it's down into 57s. So this one looking like it might be, you know, short. The trade may be short-lived here. Sorry, I was just looking at Germany almost scored again. All right, Apple did print a new high, so breaks above that 44. 225.44, it moves up into 225.64, still holding above the 10 and the 20. The higher lows and the higher highs are still in play. It's not as parabolic as it was, obviously, as it was like in the initial trading hour, but the trend still holding intact. And there's only about 15 minutes left on our show before Obi and Neil take over, so make sure you're voting for the afternoon rundown segment. That's where we cover what you guys want us to cover, whether they're large caps or small caps. The Neil, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, they're going to give you their look. And if they traded it, they'll tell you how they traded it. If they didn't, they'll tell you why, and maybe they'll give you their look anyway. Get your vote in now, and make sure you're getting other people to vote your way, because we only take the top 5. So if you vote and you're only one voice, you're only one voice. So let's go get the other members in the chat of your friends or whatever to vote your way, and we'll be covering that shortly. Guys, as we move up here on Softy, I want to tell you that 468.35, that's an all-time high, but this 2-candle retracement is still above the 10 exponential at 467.5. Looking to curl back up here. So Softy, uber strong, and definitely giving you dip trades off that 10 exponential, as it gave you the dip trade initially there off the 20 exponential. So great look there for MSFT. Tesla looks like the winds of change may be coming on this one. I'd still be weary of that 248.50, 248-ish area. We had a lot of consolidation in this area, but if we break above that area, Tesla can absolutely go. And I'm seeing a skewed double bottom here of sorts where we kind of defended that 243, 244 area. So if we can get, you know, closing prints above 249.5, 250, this could really be an interesting day. But, you know, we might leave Tesla for another day. I mean, it doesn't have to break out 10% every day. It's already a good look, up 2/3%, no doubt, for TSLA there.
Yeah, I mean, what am I? We're gonna have to take costs off the side chart because it is
all-time highs.
Oddly enough, like we saw, I had some up and down Tesla trades, but costs, my only like notably red name here on the day, which I guess is something to be proud of. I don't know, but this cost, cost. I tried to go. Thank you. Tried to go short again because cost 14 was interesting, and cost was like, no, Adara, stop doing this. Took a small position too. I never had a big position on this. I am proud of that. I just think clearly I was too distracted in Tesla. Pardon?
1-1.
1-1 for that game. So go Germany and Spain. Yes? Okay. Also, go sports. Go sports, because I really don't know much.
Obi.
But yeah, NVIDIA here, this long I'm happy with. This is the range play, but it's not, I think, going to give you the full extent of the range. We have a bit of a topping popping tail candle coming in, which I didn't really realize till I got filled because it didn't really manifest that way until I got filled. Sometimes it takes a while for you to see like the full breadth of the candle. But this is definitely, as long as we stay above these 20s here on VWAP, I'm going to stay in this trade. I'm just going to piece it in and out because that's the type of style I like doing when I can. Tesla at that 248 is really interesting to me. This is not one that I want to get involved in here unless I see stuff I like. Really happy though as well with some of these Tesla long scalps because it taught me, Adara, you can scalp long and you're being weird and paranoid to think you can only take short scalps. That was a thing I did feel for whatever reason. Also, now you work costs, now you work, now you're...
You let that stock know.
I gotta let him go. Sure, I gotta let costs go. I'm spending too much time looking at costs. Shout out to Frozen, let it go, because I'm clearly having my mind frozen in this cost idea. So I've got to give Obi credit for that pun, because he did that one a couple months ago, like way back, and I don't want to take.
Obi wants everyone to know that Costco and Walmart are continuing to pump. We did mention it earlier that Costco and Walmart both printed all-time highs, but that hasn't stopped. Look at Costco, unreal, dude. Ram. Yeah, somebody. This is a 1-minute chart. Costco has a low of 458 on the day. The high of the day is 858, excuse me. 886.61. A nice $30 move. It didn't touch the, look, this is a 1-minute chart. Let's flip to the 5. It didn't touch the 20 at any point in time. Every single touch off the 10 printed higher. This is just a beautiful range trade. Let's look at Walmart WMT. Let's see what it's doing. Very similar. They're both at all-time highs. Walmart, Costco, take your pick. Shout out to Mark Roberts. I made money on Costco because of him. I broke even on Walmart, but that's not his fault. And I made money on Albertsons. I'll never forget that. That was his call. Inflation became a thing late 2021. We all remember it. Jerome Powell saying not transitory. And that's what he got into these for, because he's like, look, you know, inflation is going to be a thing. The consumer is going to get squeezed. We're going to be looking for where we can save a buck and stretch our dollar. And that's what he chose these for. And you know, I think he's could not be more right, you know, because, you know, they weren't 3-month plays, but they were a couple of year plays here, I guess. So yeah, keeping my eye on that. Astis, look, you guys see it on the position board. I'm still long Astis, still long Poet, but you know, the fact of the matter is I'm looking to get out here on both of them because we're running low on time, got 10 minutes left on the show, and I don't want to hold these while I can't monitor them when I'm at the big desk. So if we don't get a move in Poet or Astis in the next few minutes, it's going to be all over for my trade there. Exploit Enterprises said, join AMD. My man, Exploit, you mistyped it twice. You got to put the $sign. Okay, there you go. You did it better the second time. Join in the $sign. Shout out to you, my man. All right. What else are we seeing over here? Darwin says, we winning, playmakers. What's the Costco hot dog trade? Shout out to the play off Ponzi. Those hot dogs are really good.
I do not eat hot dogs, but I've heard good things.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't eat them on my regular basis either.
Mean.
Yeah, I know. Ram's quite judgmental, eh? Like, she has her own standards of what is acceptable or not.
Shout out to Ramin as I put the chat, she's on fire. She also added in the chat here this chart. I think it was Costco. Looks like Y equals MX plus B. So that was pretty funny there. Someone said, where's the Ram hiding? Ramin's over there.
Y equals MX plus B. Why don't we just talk about the quadratic equation?
I don't know.
Right? Plus or minus B, the square root of...
I got a kick out of it. It was pretty funny.
What in the hell is happening here?
NVIDIA popping up here. I still have a third of this position, so I'm literally just letting this ride. I usually don't say pieces for dreams, but this has been holding up pretty well, and it's a really small, I don't know, I said really so many times, position. Also, I have a question for you, because I know what I think, and I'm curious as to what you think on this. So you're an Astis and Poet, which I know you said are both a little frustrating. They're moving a little bit more slowly.
Yeah.
Would you rather be in a trade that is like going against you and is like annoying in that way, or would you rather be in a trade that does a whole lot of nothing for X period of time and just makes you question your life choices?
The one that doesn't go against me, because the one that goes against me, by necessity, I'm losing money.
That's
Who
true.
wants to lose money? I'd rather be lulled to sleep, take a nap, wake up, punch out of the position, rather than having lost money.
That's true. That's true, because that was the IWM, and that was that for me. That was okay. I see what you mean. I see your point.
There you go. Neither says Vin. He doesn't want any of that smoke. I don't blame him.
That's actually a good answer.
If I had to choose, right? Yeah, so guys, by the way now, we're playing 4 minutes of added time on to the regular 90. We're through 350, so there's 10 seconds left now of regulation time unless they add some more. Mueller is on there now. Musiala is on there. Havertz is on there. So they've got a bunch of attackers. And Mueller just almost ended the game. Mueller almost just ended the game, and it is now the end of regulation. We will be going to 15 and 15 on this game. I'm losing it.
If you're talking about stocks, it makes sense you say name.
Hey, whatever. Eddie R. Worse, you want Germany to Your jokes. All right, there you go. We got Bob S. With the prompt. He wants to see CMG, but Bob, you got to put a space between the word join and the $sign. So retype that bad boy in there, Bob. Otherwise, your vote will not count.
Yeah, I just got bamboozled by Tesla, story of my life. But I got long here. I think we said we had a bit of a pullback in the future, so that's what it was. But got long Tesla. I was waiting to see us bounce at 30s. We didn't bounce at 30s. I got out, and then Tesla comes right back up. 247.50s was an area I liked because I'd been watching that earlier. We had that pop earlier. It's been a little bit like frustrating, some highs and lows. But I have to say I'm proud of most of the trading I did today. Now the real question is just filtering out the trades that don't make sense. You can focus on the trades that you really like. 100%. Hiding the P&L this week has been huge for me. I started that last week and it's been better. Did get shut down on Monday, and it's not like we've had like a great winning trading week. But I think it's more about the mental. It's about getting those mental reps in. And I mean, Tesla, you're gonna bounce again? Tesla, you're gonna bounce again? Okay. I'll take that. I want all that smoke.
Get it.
So there you go. As Ramin was saying the smoke earlier, you actually don't want a whole bunch of smoke, because if you want a bag of smoke, Santa might bring you coal, which is not something you want. I have to say, I want like a book of Ramin's little nuggets of wisdom. I think I would probably be endlessly entertained by that, as I suspect would a lot of people. But yeah, shout out to Ramin and Fabian for everything they do. We have a great team over here. Everyone you see, everyone you don't see.
AI is moving, guys. Shout out to Darwin, the OG in the chat, letting me know about AI. I'm talking about the ticker C3AI. The ticker is AI. Nice bump up there. Don't know what this thing is doing. Don't know why it's moving. I don't have anything on the blotter either. So we're getting the price action, and it's breaking through 30. It was flat topish at 29 1/3. Then you see the volume come in spades, 200,000 candles on this one. Or, sorry, 200,000 candles, calm down. 200,000 shares on this candle, 300,000 on this one. It's doing the dance with no pins in front of, on the north side of 30. I don't know why it's moving. I don't have anything on my blotter, but I did get a price spike up notification about a minute ago. And this one, as you can see here, let's flip to the one. When did this one start moving? The big boy volume started coming in at about 10 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago exactly, 146. The volume started coming in, topping tail right now on the one on C3AI off that 320. This is a heavily shorted name. Let me give you the details quickly. 28.28% of the 110 million shares of the float is shorted. Be careful with this one, but keep your eye on that $30. Don't know why it's moving, Adair.
Yeah, it's always frustrating. Oh, okay.
I gotta go. I'll see you guys soon.
See you. Thank you so much, Sharif, there for everything you do for the lesson. Wasn't this like a crazy week? We didn't even think we'd have that much going on this week. Volume was like maybe going to be a bit lighter with it being a holiday week. And Tesla said, what are you talking about? Volume's going to be lighter with the holiday week. I have deliveries, darn it. We will move on my deliveries. So the market kind of understood that, listened to that. Tesla right now making higher lows, which is why I'm still in this trade. We got above 248, then we came back. I'm actually trying to add to this. Higher lows on the book, I say? Yes, I do want to get involved, and I want to have a bit more of this position. I only am in trades during the midday period, so whatever's going on here, I'll be getting out as we leave. But I want to get out at 248s with this position. Why do I want 248s? I don't know. It's a nice round number. Tesla did reject when we got to 248s earlier a couple seconds ago here, so I really want to see what we do at 248s. I would like exactly all of the smoke on this name. Really proud of a lot. Yes, okay. Out of that Tesla long, please just punch. And I'm really proud of myself because I took a lot of nice longs here today, and I don't often take longs, so please just punch with that. Definitely down on the day here, a lot of which has to do with cost, but really proud of the decisions that were made here. Let's see, let's check the blotter here. I don't really check my, okay, it was the only name I was up on was IWM, but it was down in Tesla, down in NVIDIA, proud of some decisions with both, and then cost definitely cost me a bit here, and now cost decided to work on that short, so that was a little bit bamboozling on that end, but it's all good. You got to learn, you got to grow and figure out what's, try to get things working. figure out what type of trader you are. And I think today what I learned is maybe just focus on certain levels on a few names. If I had been a lot more aggressive with the Tesla, there could have been some more opportunities. Thank you, Vicky and Novak. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm still down in the day and the week. It's not been a great start to July P&L wise, but it's not all about the P&L. It's about the progress. It's about the learning. And it's about working hard and seeing what happens there. I don't want to base how I feel about myself and my trading on one set of numbers, right? So you just got to keep going. Thank you, Brandon Townsend. Much appreciated. Really happy with what I did with this Cybertruck for the most part. NVIDIA, though, like, hey, what about me? What about me? Hi, I exist. Yeah. Great look here in NVIDIA, continuing to ride that 9 EMA to the upside. I want to see what we do here around 60s, because that was, if you can see, we got a couple topping tail candles at NVIDIA on that 127 60s. So this could be an interesting level here for NVDA. We also got some topping tail candles in this level earlier today as well, going back a couple times. So let's see what we do here on NVDA. As Rivian Millionaire says, it's all about the NVDA, which, yeah, I don't disagree. NVIDIA has been a really nice name. Lots to look at here on that name for sure. Tesla grinding higher towards 249. What an exciting week here. I hope you guys, but Apple got a big old bite taken out of it there. Apple looking pretty red delicious if you're a short. Look at that. Shout out to Gaurav, who called that flat top break. We got that flat top break here coming around 135. Then we try to continue to chop higher, and Apple gets paired in half, like an apple pear, getting cored there. I'm going to stop making Apple puns. But yeah, this is an interesting look here. We'll have to see what we do with the 9 EMA. That was a clear area of support earlier. Let's see if it flips to resistance. But we're definitely not going to resist switching over to the afternoon show, because you got to do that over here. Hope you guys had a fun week in this 3.5-day trading week. I think this was a huge week. Always trying to learn and figure out more every single week in trading as these markets give us more opportunities. But right now, we're going to have an opportunity to see what some of these names that you guys voted for are. So we'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. See you on Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Right now, though, we have Obi, we have Neil, and we have Sharif at the green screen.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what